All right, shall we get into this? Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Kiorkof, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is going to be our Week 16 live stream. In order to go ahead, set your lineups accordingly, get you guys ready for your Week 16 matchups. Of course, many of us have already had players play from the Thursday night game, and of course, the exciting matchups from yesterday's Saturday slate. Either way, I have come with you humbly with my top 36 updated running back wide receiver rankings for a half PPR scoring format, along with my updated top 16 quarterback and tight end rankings. Quarterbacks for a 4-point per passing touchdown league, and tight ends for a half PPR scoring format as well. Again, if any information is to be released in the next 2 hours or so, I'll go ahead and I'll adjust my rankings accordingly. But the entire purpose of today is, of course, to answer your guys' questions. Now, I want to try to answer everybody's question in the chat. Some people will jump in terms of priority by donating via Super Chat. For those of you who do so, I really do appreciate that. But make sure to tell me what your scoring format is. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to answer for a half PPR. So let me know, do you play in a standard? Do you play in a full PPR? 6-point per passing touchdown league, tight end premium, point per first down, all those kind of, extra return yard points, all that kind of stuff does make a huge difference. But either way, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Again, hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody's ready to advance to our championship Sunday games, Week 17 Fantasy Football Championships, and hopefully we can help you get there. All right. I got to catch up, of course, as I showed up. I would say, late is a relative term. A wizard, arrives precisely when he means to. So, I think, 8:04 was a pretty good time for me today. Either way, I got to catch up. So I'm going to immediately get into answering questions. Again, I will mention it. The rankings over there, right over there, those are updated as of this morning. Despite the fact that last week I put a little tagline right above me that said updated as of today, nobody, wanted to look at that, or some people ignored it. So I'm just not even going to say it. I'm just going to point towards it and keep telling you guys that's where to go. Outside of that, also, if you guys haven't yet already, check out Underdog Fantasy today. They have a promotion for the holiday season in which you can go ahead, and if you're able to put together a 5-leg pick'em and accurately predict all 5 of them, you can 50 times your money. I showed this to many of us. Let's go ahead. Let me find it real quick. The other day when I was talking about hidden gems. Where the heck is this thing? How did I lose my graphic? I'm so confused. Where the heck are my graphics? Where's my desktop? Like I'm losing my mind now. Okay, let's go find this thing. Here we go. Aha, now I found it. I was about to say, I was like, there's no way I'm losing this graphic that quick. There he is. Boom, there's Josh Allen. Thank you, Josh Allen, for joining us. Anyway, so if you go and you put together a 5-leg pick'em and you include this Josh Allen booster, if you're able to accurately predict all 5 legs, you get 50 times your money, $10 maximum overall bet. You turn it into 500 by the end of this evening. So for those of you interested, check that out. Use promo code Andrew. There's a link down in the description for Underdog Fantasy. I've put together a leg with a lot of Cincinnati Bengals players. I expect them to win, especially considering, Baltimore secondary has been a little bit underwhelming. I think I attached Josh Allen to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, both over 4.5 receptions. Burrow yards over, Justin Jackson. Actually, no, I didn't do Burrow yards over. I did Justin Jackson anytime touchdown, and I did Damian Harris rushing yards over. So anyway, check it out if you guys are interested. We got to get to answering questions, shall we? Here we go. Beginning from the top, Anthony Cruz sends in a question, says, "Hey, Andrew, full PPR. I'm starting Diggs, Renfro, James Robinson, Nick Chubb, Michael Carter in the flex, Tom Brady, Dallas Goedert. Fine, or do I swap Carter for Amari Cooper at the flex position? Thanks." All right, so overall, I'm probably keeping Carter there. I think based on his overall opportunity last week, I know it was a little bit limited, but again, it was the Jets, and they weren't in the greatest overall position, considering they played against the Miami Dolphins. It is a tough run-stop defense in comparison to a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars, which should be easier. I look at the Dallas Cowboys offense, and I think to myself, well, if Dak's going to continue his continuous trend of not being able to put up 3 or more touchdowns, it is going to be difficult for a receiver like Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Schultz, CeeDee Lamb, all to succeed in a singular week, especially against Washington. So for right now, I'd say you leave it as such. You play Michael Carter in the flex, and you're good to go. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate it. Eric Sanchez sends in a question, says, should I start Henderson or Michelle, or just wing it with Jarrett Patterson? Now, if we get information regarding Antonio Gibson not playing this week, then I'd be a little bit more comfortable just starting Jarrett Patterson. The last thing that I saw in terms of reports was that they were quote-unquote optimistic that he would play. That's not a great sign anyway, so there may be a last-second switch similar to James Conner yesterday. But if that's not the case and Antonio Gibson is dressing and active today, I would just play Sony Michel. Thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate it. Doug sends in a question. Says, Adam Thielen or Amon-Ra St. Brown in a standard league? I think Amon-Ra St. Brown, though he has looked fantastic as of late, the fact that Jared Goff is not going to be the starting quarterback today, considering he is out, it is going to be Tim Boyle. I don't trust his overall upside in that regard, so I'm going to go Adam Thielen. Again, this season in the 11 games he has played, he has scored a total of 10 touchdowns. In a standard scoring format, we always want touchdown upside, and I think Adam Thielen certainly presents that to us tonight. Thank you. All right, moving on. Anton Palmer with an extremely generous donation. Thank you very much. That is far more than you had to contribute, but I appreciate it nonetheless, my good sir. So, hey Andrew, I'm down 31 for the first week of the playoffs in a half PPR scoring format. I need an RB2 and a wide receiver 2 in my flex out of Madison, Miles Sanders, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Michael Carter, Antonio Brown, and potentially Thielen. You haven't led me wrong this year. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Anton. All right, so of the available options that we have in a half PPR scoring format, I think Alexander Madison for sure has to play because of the remaining running backs on my list, he's my number one. Between Miles Sanders, CEH, Michael Carter, those are great options. I think Antonio Brown also has to play. So what I'm probably leaning towards the direction of is most likely going Alexander Madison, Clyde Edwards, and Antonio Brown. And those are the three that I'd roll with. I think Miles Sanders certainly does present the opportunity to maybe, be in this conversation. But as long as Jalen Hurts is there, and as long as Jalen Hurts is finding as much success as he does running the football, especially down on the goal line and taking those touches, it just leads me to think I can't trust him to 100% find the end zone or have that potential upside outside of the yardage alone. So Madison, CEH, Antonio Brown, that's my suggestion, Anton. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Double AC sends in a question, says, let's see here. Opponent has Josh Allen. Sit Renfro versus Denver to start Emmanuel Sanders. No, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so yeah, for first question, look, the only time I would ever sit Renfro is if Darren Waller came back and we saw like consecutive weeks of him having underwhelming performances. I think they'll get back to throwing him the ball this week. So I'm at a position where regardless of whether it's even a half PPR, I'm still ahead with Renfro based on how much consistency he's shown over the last 2 months here. As for your second question, pick two between Javonte Williams, Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, Justin Jackson, Amari Cooper, Devontae Parker. Okay, so of those group of players, I don't want to play either of those wide receivers. I think the running backs are extremely valuable in comparison. If you have the opportunity to play those running backs, I think Swift and Najee Harris are the way to go. If he's not able to go today, at that point you would just pivot from Swift to Justin Jackson. So right now, like you can see on screen, we currently have Najee Harris at 7, then Justin Jackson at 8. Obviously we have DeAndre Swift at 5, and then we have Javonte at 11. So again, Swift and Najee, if they're both active and ready to go, specifically Swift because we're a little bit questionable on him. He was limited all practice this week. If he's not able to go, then we'll just pivot to Justin Jackson. We'll be good to go. Appreciate it, Double AC. Thank you. Justin Brunner sends in a question. Says, I need to start 3 out of these out of these players. Dallas or Penny. So that's DJ Dallas or Rashad Penny. Not Najee Harris. Damian Harris from New England. Van Jefferson. I would assume that's Jordan Howard. Singletary, Gaskin, Reynolds. Half PPR scoring from it. All right, cool. So of the available prospects that you have, if we're starting 3, for sure, Damian Harris of the New England Patriots taking on the Buffalo Bills. That is the first suggestion I would make. I would also make on the other side of that game, Devin Singletary against the New England Patriots. Again, since week 8, The New England Patriots, they've given up the most yards per carry on average to opposing running backs. I think it's about 5.44 yards per carry, an unreal number. So Harris and Singletary, they're for sure. Now, the next best option in my eyes is probably going Rashad Penny. I know that, DJ Dallas's contribution, the fact that he stole a touchdown on that goal line does make it a little bit more difficult to start him. But I think overall, I think Rashad Penny actually is going to be the more predominant back in this week's matchup. So that's where I would go. I'd go Harris, Penny, Singletary. Those are my 3 suggestions. Thank you very much, Justin. Anthony Cruz says also, are Chargers a great pick for a survivor pool? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Chargers, I think it would be literally impossible for them to lose against the Houston Texans today. I think Houston, they play teams tough. They're very well coached, and this team is always trying to compete. But yeah, I 100% believe that the Chargers are a great pick for the survivor pool. I'm surprised you haven't already used the Chargers at this point in the season. But yeah, I do believe that they're a pretty good pick there. Paul sends in a question, says Mahomes. Oh, where did that go? Okay, let's go back to. Well, never mind. I lost the question. All right, it updated and everything went to high heck. All right, Paul sends in a question, says Mahomes or Hurts. Kelsey was ruled out full PPR. I would go Jalen Hurts. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Paul. Again, for those of you who are trickling in, I want to remind you guys, the rankings on screen are up today as of this morning. So for those of you who are wondering, I currently, in a 4-point per passing touchdown format, have Jalen Hurts ranked number 3 and Mahomes number 4. So I understand Travis Kelsey not going to be participating in today's game. I still think that Mahomes is going to, do his very best to light it up against that defense. But either way, I prefer Jalen Hurts. Thank you. Matthew, 31, says, good morning, sir. Full PPR, sit 1. We have Renfro, Zeke, Swift, and Ronald Jones. And start Miami or Patriots defense. Thanks. All right, I would start Miami's defense against the rookie quarterback Ian Book for Monday night. And then as for who am I sitting between these prospects at the running back position / wide receiver? Okay, so for sure I'm playing Ronald Jones. I think I'm for sure playing Swift. So then it's just between Zeke and Hunter Renfro. I'm playing Hunter Renfro, and I'm probably sitting Zeke in a full PPR. I think Zeke is fantastic, but Tony Pollard, he's playing. And as long as that's the case, his upside is limited to an extent. Unless Zeke is going to 100% find the end zone, it will be extremely difficult in a full PPR, assuming Hunter Renfro gets his normal 6 to 7 catches, 60 to 70 yards to be able to catch him in that regard, considering Zeke's been around 50 rushing yards, a couple receptions here and there, so he can probably get a baseline of 7 to 8 points. He needs that touchdown to get him to that double-digit marker, which I think Hunter Renfro pretty much already has solidified. So I'd play Renfro, Rojo, and Swift. Thank you. Next question. Paul sends in another one. Says, Sony, Devontae Parker, Van Jefferson at the flex position in a full PPR scoring format. In a full PPR, I'd most definitely play Devontae Parker at that point. Sony Michel doesn't catch the ball a bunch. And he's also in a little bit of a committee situation. Cam Akers was active. I think he's probably out. He's probably not going to play this week, but it's still going to be like a running back by committee situation between Sony Michel and Henderson. And in a full PPR, I always will lean in the direction of a wide receiver, especially if I'm dealing with a committee scenario. So I'd go Devontae Parker there. Thank you very much, Paul. Ryan Kilpatrick sends in a question. Says, half PPR, Mike Gesicki or Noah Fant. I'd go Noah Fant there. Also, start 2. Harris, Javonte, Madison. Already started Jones. Also, how do we feel about Diggs today? Diggs is in a very interesting scenario. Considering there aren't many other options on the field, Josh Allen is going to be forced to throw the ball to Diggs, regardless of whether or not he is open. So there may be mistakes made in that. There may be a lot of incompletions because he just has to throw the ball away. But, I'm still starting him. He's a stud wide receiver, and just like he did last week against really good coverage, he was still able to find a lot of success. But we just got to hope he finds the end zone today when they get down to the red zone. But in terms of the running backs that we play, Madison and Harris are the 2 that I would suggest out of the 3. I would leave Javonte last. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. Joseph Myers says, full PPR, Chase, Swift, Waddle, or Rojo. Pick 2. We got to do it like this? Okay, that is pretty unfortunate. But if I'm picking 2 out of this group of players, I'm most likely playing Ronald Jones and Jamar Chase. And that's my suggestion there, Joseph. Appreciate it. Thank you. Jimmy's in the Clouds says, Renfro or Justin Jackson in a full PPR scoring format? That's a great question. I think we're pretty safe going Justin Jackson there. I'm thinking to myself, what the heck? Okay, like if, for example, Hunter Renfrow goes for a 100-yard game like he did 2 weeks ago and the week prior. So, in 2 out of the last 3 weeks, he's done that where he's going for like 7 catches over 100 yards. If he's in that realm, it's going to be really hard for a lot of running backs to keep up with that. But we're just going to play. I mean, I would say the safer floor still exists because Justin Jackson is most likely going to score a touchdown at this point. Could very easily get himself 15 points, which is pretty much what I'm expecting. I mean, I could go either way with Renfrow or Jackson. I think I'm just going to play Justin Jackson at this point. I think he'll pretty much fill into the Austin Eckler role. Obviously not as many receptions, but with Mike Williams being down and Jalen Guyton being out, it just seems like they're going to have to run the ball consistently all day. And if and when they do, he'll also get himself some receiving work as he's shown to do in seasons past and earlier this season already. So I'm going to go Justin Jackson there. Thank you. All right, next question is Easy Money sends in a question regarding Rojo, Saquon, or DeAndre Swift in a full PPR. I play Rojo there. Then DeAndre Swift, then Saquon last. Thank you. Valentine Garcia says start Allen or Stafford, Higbee or Kmet at the tight end position. I think Kmet is even better with Nick Foles as his starting quarterback. We've seen it from years past, even last year. Nick Foles with Jimmy Graham with the Chicago Bears was great. Nick Foles back with the Philadelphia Eagles when he led that team to their Super Bowl run. Zach Ertz was eating. So I think Cole Kmet is a great play there over Higbee. In regards to Allen or Stafford, I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford. He's got the easiest matchup at the position playing against Minnesota. His receivers have the easiest matchup against a secondary that cannot stop anything really this season. I think that combination, especially considering Allen has to take on Bill Belichick once again today, I'm going Stafford. I'm going Kmet. Thank you. Yaga says, Thielen or Higgins need a boom in a standard format. I think Higgins is great. Look, Thielen is still questionable per se, so there's not a guarantee that he even suits up today. He may warm up before the game, tweak something, and then he's not playing. And I don't want to be in a scenario. Let me see here. What time does he play today? Because if he plays even after, okay, so he plays at the 10 a.m. slot, and so does T. Higgins. I mean, either way, right now, I am of the mind that T. Higgins is the safer play overall, especially considering, I don't even know if Thielen 1,000% is going to play, but they're both playing at the same time, which is helpful. Either way, I would suggest Higgins. If you want to play Thielen, you certainly can. Again, he's going to have to score like 2 touchdowns to get you that quote-unquote boom you need, because if he doesn't, at least scoring 1 touchdown would be fine. But the reception count, that's what typically Thielen is known to do. Score touchdowns and get a lot of receptions. The yardage has never been, his forte per se. So for right now, I'd say Higgins. Thank you. Only Figaro says, what's up? What's good, Drew? Thanks for all that you've done. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Laquan Treadwell, Ty Johnson, that's Tyler Johnson, or Mooney. Pick one. I'm playing Mooney. Again, similar to the Cole Kmet conundrum that we were talking about earlier, I think anybody in terms of the receiving core, even the running game improves because we have a little bit more of an experienced quarterback under center there for the Chicago Bears. I still think that Nick Foles will be able to get the job done and certainly get their number one receiver that's out there, Darnell Mooney, heavily involved. So I'm going Mooney there. Thank you. Cinco2X says PPR start to CEH, Antonio Gibson, Sony Michel, Darrell Henderson. Should I start Sony over Gibson? All right, so as it currently stands, I will go ahead and remind all of you, I don't even know if Antonio Gibson is going to for sure play. But if he does, he would get the start from me, along with Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the 4 that you talked about, Cinco. So if Antonio Gibson's active, I'm playing Gibson and I'm playing CEH. If he is not active, then he makes our job a little bit easier, and we'll go ahead and play Sony Michel and Clyde Edwards, and then you're good to go. At this point, you could even just pivot away from Gibson as a whole, because there may be a chance he comes in and immediately gets himself injured and then he's gone. So, if you don't want to risk it in that regard, you can absolutely get into a scenario in which you just go ahead and play Sony Michel and CEH and be done with it. But for right now, I feel confident enough that if he's going to give it a go and try to play, that he should be a decent enough play to outscore Sony. Thank you. Abdul sends in a question, says half PPR, Penny, Gage, Freeman, Parker, pick 2. I'm picking Russell Gage for sure. Outside of Russell Gage, I think the next best play is probably just playing Parker as well with him. So I go Parker and Gage. Thank you very much. Mike Hawk says full PPR. Why do you gotta do these games, guys? What are we doing? Full PPR flex spot, CH Sanders or possibly DK Metcalf. As much as I'd love to play DK Metcalf, really it's so risky at this point. I'm probably just going to play Clyde Edwards there. I think DK Metcalf, we've given him his chances. He probably scores 25 points today. He probably does. But at this point, if you're willing to take the risk, you can go for it. Otherwise, I think there's a very safe position with Clyde Edwards against possibly the worst run-stop defense in the National Football League for a team that doesn't have Kelsey and will certainly have to run the ball. Let's see here. Perry Paul says full PPR, OBJ or David Montgomery. Between the two, I'm playing David Montgomery for sure. The fact that David Montgomery over the last couple weeks has caught the ball like 5 to 6 times per game, as long as that continues to be the case, this man's just going to continue to light up the scoreboard in a full PPR. As for your second question, Philadelphia or New England? For right now, I'm fairly certain, yes. I have the Philadelphia Eagles defense ahead of New England. And Zerline or Tucker, I play Zerline. So again, David Montgomery, Philadelphia, Zerline. I think somebody asked a question above about our defense, and I think I skipped it for a second there. Never mind. Matthew asked about Miami or Patriots defense, and I said Miami for Monday night against Ian Book. Okay, very good. Let's see here. All right, really quickly before I continue, I just want to remind everybody, happy holidays. Thank you for joining us today. Everything to the left side of the screen, they are updated rankings as of this morning. So if you're interested as to what my top 36 running backs are in a half PPR, top 36 wide receivers, they're to the left of me, along with top 16 tight ends and top 16 quarterbacks. I've gone ahead and removed all the players that have already participated in their respective games in order to show you more players for the given week. Again, the only question we have is whether or not Antonio Gibson is going to play, and that's pretty much it. Outside of that, everybody else is pretty much good to go. We have information at least regarding Justin Jackson. Austin Eckler not playing, Mike Williams not playing, Jalen Guyton on the same team. We know Travis Kelce is going to miss today. There's a lot of players that unfortunately we need in our team, but we'll try to recover and put together our best overall lineup and put together put forward the best foot we possibly can at this point. Okay, let's see here. Next question. Ron T says, 2-quarterback league. I need to start one of Cam Newton, Josh Johnson, Marvin Jones, or Devonta Freeman. I know, sad, but true story. Okay, here's my issue, Ron. I don't know what I'm going to expect to see from Cam Newton, because I've been reading reports all week long that Matt Rule, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, has consistently said, we're going to play Sam Darnold in this game. He may play, a majority of the snaps. It depends how he does once he comes in, which makes me think that they're going to do like a two-headed monster at the quarterback position where Cam Newton will play a little bit, then they bring in Sam Darnold for a couple plays that he's more comfortable with, and then back and forth until, they kind of find themselves a rhythm, which is not going to work, which I think Cam Newton just gets hurt off of it in terms of his overall value, especially if he's not able to put together a first drive in which he scores a touchdown and gets those kind of, possessions. So in that, oh man, did we play Josh Johnson? In that position, I think you just have to play Josh Johnson. I'm not going to play a running back like Devonta Freeman over him. I'm not going to play Marvin Jones over him. I think I just played Josh Johnson. He played pretty well earlier this year when he played with the Jets. He came in the second quarter when Mike White got injured and put together a pretty good game. So I think you just have to go Josh Johnson, because I'm afraid of the fact that, Cam Newton plays a couple snaps here and there and then goes and disappears. And that's not something that I want in my lineup. Thank you, Ron. Unfortunate scenario, but hoping the best for you, bud. All right, Steven says, happy holidays. In a half PPR scoring format, I need a flex out of Michael Gallup or Michelle. In a half PPR, I go Sony Michel there. I think Michael Gallup is great, but again, in terms of opportunity, there's not a guaranteed stream of targets that are going to get him to a position where 4 catches for 45 yards. What is that really going to do in a half PPR? 6.5 fantasy points. I really can't rely on that if, in fact, Sony Michel is going to continue to get this 15, to 18 touch kind of performance consecutively. So for right now, we continue on with Sony Michel. Steven, thank you. Mike Beats 713 says, Michael Carter or Javonte Williams in the flex and a half PPR. I'm playing Javonte Williams there. Been extremely consistent all month long, so we're going to continue to ride with him. Let's see here. Nick Ulrich says, half PPR, flex, David Montgomery, Najee Harris, Van Jefferson. Between the three, I'd go Najee, David Montgomery, then Van Jefferson in that exact order. And then your following question, Cole Kmet or Dawson Knox. If it was a full PPR, I would say Cole Kmet. But considering it's a half PPR, I'll go Dawson Knox because I think touchdown upside is extremely valuable. And again, with no Gabriel Davis and no Cole Beasley in this offense, Dawson Knox down in the red zone, he has to continue to step up as a huge threat for them. Michael sends in a question. Says full PPR, Rojo or Antonio Brown? That is an incredibly difficult question to answer. If I have to pick one, Rojo or Antonio Brown in a full PPR, man, actually is not an easy one. I think Rojo is I think he's broke. Like broke as in like he's literally going to determine people getting to the fantasy finals because he is going to score such a steady amount of points. Like I honestly think like 15 points minimum is what I'm imagining is going to happen today against Carolina's terrible run stop defense as of late. Again, I talked about it earlier this week. Carolina's giving up 121 yards per game on the ground over the last month and a touchdown per game to opposing running backs. Like that kind of production is so valuable. But in a full PPR, like AB is going to catch the ball like 6, 7, 8 times. So if he's able to get 70 yards and a touchdown, like he can easily get himself 20 points as well. For right now, oh man, what do I want to do with this guy? What do I want to do? I'm gonna say Rojo for right now. I'm just gonna stick with the consistent amount of rushing attempts. That's what I typically like to do. Even in a full PPR, I'll lean towards the running back because they have that extra potential because they're getting the guaranteed touches. But man, AB, he certainly makes an argument. I would try to play them both if you can, Michael. But for right now, I go Rojo. Isaac Maximoff says full PPR, 6 point per passing touchdown, pick 2. We have Deontay, we have Diggs, Cordero Patterson. Why does a 6 point per passing touchdown matter? What? Playing against Josh Allen. I mean, okay, I appreciate it, Isaac. I don't know why you're playing receivers anyway or running back. So either way. If we're playing 2 out of the 3, I'm playing Cordero Patterson and Deontay Johnson. Thank you. In a full PPR. Joey says full PPR. Javonte, Saquon, or Justin Jackson. Of the 3 options, I'd play Justin Jackson. Thank you, Joey. Jonathan says Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen. Need upside. I'm playing Jalen Hurts for sure. Also, Justin Jackson or Thielen at the flex position in a full PPR. I play Justin Jackson there, Jonathan. And your follow-up final question, Chargers defense or Eagles? I'd go Philadelphia Eagles against Jake Fromm, inexperienced, quarterback. It's just going to be a pretty easy day for the Eagles secondary to pick him apart, considering he doesn't have many weapons to throw the ball to anyway. Will Lane says flex, Javonte, Diggs, or Justin Jackson. I'd go Justin Jackson there in a half PPR. Thank you, Will. Jack Venable sends in a question. Says full PPR, Devontae Parker or Damian Harris. I play Damian Harris there. With Ramondre Stevenson out, this team obviously the last time we saw them take on the Buffalo Bills defense, they ran the ball heavily. I don't think it'll be as consistent of a running scheme where they're just burying their heads and just continuing the run. But I still think that Damian Harris, considering he's not going to be the lone back per se because Brandon Bolden will be involved, I just think that it's going to be far too easy for this team to run the ball, and we know how much goal line opportunities he gets. So I'd go Damian Harris there. Miles Diaz says full PPR. Flex Montgomery, Mixon, Justin Jackson, Javonte. Okay. So it says need help we sat AJ Brown and Chase Edmonds. LOL, Kittle, and Aaron Jones didn't do much for me. Okay, so if we're playing one out of the possible, you have so many good options, but if we're playing one out of the group, in a full PPR scoring format, I am probably playing David Montgomery. I mean, I seriously do think that David Montgomery is going to catch the ball 5 or 6 times today again. And with that, he just gains so much value and kind of catches up to the overall upside of a Justin Jackson. So I'd go Montgomery there. Thank you. Fam First says start 3, full PPR. Mixon, Madison, Rojo, Justin Jackson, McLaurin. Okay, so if we're playing 3 out of that group, we're playing Madison, Rojo, and Justin Jackson. And yes, I am leaving Mixon on the bench along with McLaurin. As for your second question, Seattle's defense or Cincinnati, I'd rather play Cincinnati's defense today. Thank you. Lucas sends in a question, says, I need 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex and a half PPR scoring format. We have Gibson, Gordon, Javonte, Rojo, Scary Terry, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Higgins, Emmanuel Sanders. Thank you, Andrew Rock. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Happy holidays. All right, so here we go, Lucas. In terms of starting 2 running backs, between the potential options that you have, I'm playing Ronald Jones and I'm playing Javonte Williams. As for your wide receivers, I'm going to play T. Higgins, and then I'd follow that up with Emmanuel Sanders. And then your final option in terms of your flex, if in fact we're in a scenario in which Antonio Gibson's going to play, he probably gets the nod from me. If Antonio Gibson does not play today in a half PPR scoring format, I'm trying to think, do we play Melvin Gordon or Scary Terry? I mean, you know what the problem is? Scary Terry hasn't been scary for the last 6 weeks here. So let's go Melvin Gordon at the flex. Thank you. Appreciate it, Lucas. Dilo says, I know the Texans suck, but no Rex Burkhead love. I literally had him at number 37. Literally. And I thought to myself back and forth, do I really want to suggest anyone to play Rex Burkhead even if David Johnson is out? I even had the inner monologue. And I kind of went through it and I was like, I don't think I want to tell anybody to play Rex Burkhead in their championship game. I can't trust him to find anything of value in the end zone. And I don't think he'll get as much PPR work as we hope. So it's not worth it, Tyler. It's not worth it. I'm trying to talk you off of it. But yeah, for right now, I'm not too interested in that. King Marcelo says, better defense, Eagles, Patriots, or Bengals. Of the 3, I'd go Eagles. Also, I have Rojo, Najee Harris, and Justin Jackson. I mean, that's a great trio of players. And Broncos/Rams running backs, okay? How confident are you in Najee over Javonte Williams or Sony Michel? How confident am I? Okay, well, here's the thing. My confidence factor pretty much relies around the idea that, yes, though Najee Harris had a horrible game last week, we have to take into account that Tennessee is one of the better, well, as of the last 8 weeks of the season, they've had the best run-stop defense in terms of average yards per carry. So the Pittsburgh Steelers just had to abandon the running game last week. They just purely had to in order to win that game against the Tennessee Titans. And I don't blame them. But as with what we've seen over the last month or so, every team has found a lot of success in terms of running the ball against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the way you beat them as a whole. You keep your offense on the field, no 3 and outs, you keep Mahomes off of the field, and you get that defense tired and you continue to run the ball. So I'm expecting them to use Najee Harris like they did earlier this season and get him back to numbers very similar to what he was able to produce against Minnesota. Corey Olson says, good morning. Bud, looks like my season is over. My opponent has Debo, Kupp, Chubb. It was rough last week. Have to get like 70 unanswered points. Thank you. Okay, well, Corey, listen, we're going to hope for the best and see what comes of it. But yeah, listen, many of us are struggling. A couple of my teams, I have an Austin Eckler team. I have with Travis Kelce on it. I mean, that team just doesn't look like it's going to get the job done. I'm replacing it with Justin Jackson and Jared Cook, but I don't know if that's as comparable of a duo. But either way, we're just trying to stay above water and see if we can come up with the best. But best of luck, Corey. Stuart Andrew says, good morning, dude. Diggs, Saquon, Miles Sanders, Michael Carter. Okay, so of those options, in a half PPR scoring format, if you need 2 of them, I'm thinking Miles Sanders, and then I'm also thinking, do I want to play? Yeah, I'd probably just go Stephon Diggs. I love Saquon, but I mean, with Devontae Booker really cutting into his overall work, the rookie quarterback, it's going to be easy for them to stack the box to an extent. The force the quarterback to throw against that Eagles secondary. Let's go Miles Sanders and let's go Stephon Diggs there, Stuart. As for your follow-up question, also Eagles, Seahawks, Saints, or Bengals defense, I go Eagles. Again, I just want to go ahead because so many people have asked questions in regards to defense. I'll go ahead and let you guys know what my top 12 defenses are as of right now. Let's go top 10, actually. Let's see here. Here we go. So as of this week, my top 10 defenses, okay? Number 1 begins with the Dallas Cowboys. Number 2, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 4, Miami Dolphins. Number 5, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 6, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 7, Seattle Seahawks. Number 8, Buffalo Bills. Number 9, New England Patriots. Number 10, New Orleans Saints. Those are my top 10 defenses for this week that are remaining. For those of you interested, hopefully that helps as much as it possibly can. And hopefully the defense you end up playing goes for 40 points tonight, okay? And I'm not even exaggerating. I'm hoping it does. So either way, best of luck, Stuart. Thank you. Kenneth Williams says, Michelle or DJ Moore in a full PPR? I would play DJ Moore. Regardless of who's going to be at the quarterback position, we know DJ Moore is going to get over 10 total targets. He's expected to play. He is, honestly, though he hasn't been able to score touchdowns or get those incredible upside performances, he has still played well in a full PPR as of late. I think he's in a consistent enough position and against the secondary that's been beat up with injuries so much that DJ Moore is in a pretty good spot here today. So that's where I'm going to go. Liam sends in a question, says flex, Parker, Palmer, Treadwell, Hendo, or Michelle. Okay, so in the current position that you're in, not the greatest overall players, but I like Joshua Palmer, not to the point where I'm playing him over Parker. I still think that Keenan Allen is going to dominate that, receiving core's work. But for right now, if we're playing one out of the group in a half PPR scoring format, we're most likely going Michelle. If it's not a half PPR, and it's a full, we'd go Parker probably. But for right now, yeah, you kind of just have to play Michelle and hope for the best in that regard. Thank you, Liam. Zachary sends in a question. Says full PPR. We have DK Metcalf, Adam Thielen, Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, Alexander Madison, and David Montgomery. Pick 5 out of the 6 options. Okay. Alexander Madison, Najee Harris, David Montgomery. So those are the 3 automatic. Boom, boom, boom. Now I got to pick 2 out of the 3 wide receiver options. We'll play Lamb and we'll play DK. And that's what I'd go forward with. I mean, I think Thielen's great. He's still coming back from a high ankle sprain. I don't want any re-aggravation. I don't want any risk in that regard. You could certainly play him over DK Metcalf. That's a toss-up in regards to if, in fact, we see enough touchdowns from Thielen to, I guess, even out the overall potential there. Honestly, he just has to score 1, and he's better than DK on a typical week. So for right now, we'd say Najee, Lamb, Madison, Montgomery, DK. You could play Thielen over DK, but for right now, I'll roll with him against Chicago's secondary. Trude Boy says, flex. Michael Carter, Russell Gage, Devontae Parker, or Emmanuel Sanders. Out of the group, I'd probably roll with Russell Gage there. I'm the number 1 seed, and in the conference championship, hope all goes well, as do I. Hoping the best for you, Trude Boy. I'd go Russell Gage there. He's been extremely consistent. He's the number 1 receiver in that offense taking on Detroit, so I'm confident there. Tyler sends in a question, says, full PPR. Start 3 as wide receiver 1. What is this? PPR start 3 as wide receiver 1 as a flex. Cup. I know he's a start. Okay, cool. Keenan Allen, also a start. Cool. Deontay Johnson, Lamb, and David Montgomery. So I'm basically picking 1 out of the 3 options of Deontay Johnson, Lamb, and David Montgomery. So that's the question at hand, which is a difficult one. I'd play CeeDee Lamb. I think, yes, he has had himself some underwhelming performances here and there. I think he scores a touchdown today. And not only that, I think he's probably the best player of the 3. So that's where I go. Gank XU24 says, choose 4. We have Zeke, Montgomery, Rojo, Madison, Jackson. I think that's pretty much all I needed to hear. Montgomery, Rojo, Madison, Jackson. Those are the 4 that I'm playing. Yeah, those are the 4 straight up. And in the second league, Gage, Van Jefferson, Devonta Smith, Gallup. Thank you. I'm playing Gage in the second league. Thank you. Oh, we're picking 2 for the second league. My apologies. We're playing Gage, and we're also following it up with Van Jefferson. Thank you. Nico, NG3, says, I really don't know if I should start Justin Jackson or CEH. My head is exploding. I would play Justin Jackson. I mean, the overall opportunity at the running back position for the Chargers is extremely high, especially considering they take on Houston in comparison to CH, who will obviously every now and then get a couple rushing attempts siphoned from Darrell Williams. I don't think it'll be as heavy from Joshua Kelly impeding on the overall upside of a Justin Jackson there. So I'd go Justin Jackson against Houston. They're giving up 21 points per game on the ground alone, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. So as a whole there, I'm good to go with Jackson. Thank you. Okay, again, I want to remind you guys, for those of you who are here, it's about 900 of you. Welcome. Happy holidays. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend thus far. And hopefully we can, finish the holiday season and the weekend out strong by putting together some great lineups and, of course, winning your Week 16 weeks overall. As you can see on screen, like I typically talk about, we have updated rankings. Top 36 running backs and wide receivers in a half PPR, top 16 quarterbacks and tight ends. So if you have a question in regards to a singular position as to where I would go, if you had a question regarding Russell Gage and Amon-Ra St. Brown for today, my Russell Gage is ranked at 14, while Amon-Ra is at 30. So I would play, obviously, Russell Gage ahead of him. So for those of you who are interested within a singular position, go as such. Obviously, in different formats, in terms of scoring, it is a little bit different. Hopefully, as I'm answering questions from the chat, people send in questions. We're able to answer your question regardless and somehow, some way help you guys. Okay. Where are we at? We're at Nico. Okay, so I just want to confirm that we've pretty much answered everybody from above Nico and going forward. Okay, cool. So we're going to try to catch up as quickly as we can. Oscar sends in a question. Oscar says, full PPR, Zeke, Justin Jackson, Renfro. I think I talked about this earlier. I think I just want to... It was between Renfro and Justin Jackson. I think I'm just going to play Justin Jackson there. In my opinion, it would go Justin Jackson, Renfro, Zeke. In that order in a full PPR. Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate it. Tyler T says, pick one in a full PPR. Rojo, CH, Justin Jackson, Swift. I play Rojo. Thank you. Fainsky says, it's been a weekly worry for me, but Gronk or Chase at the flex? Wow. Okay, great question. I'm going to go Jamar Chase there. I think Gronk is fantastic. I don't know if it's just like guaranteed that Gronk is just going to eat up everything that's up for grabs. Like, sure, like I talked about on my Thursday video, with Godwin, Evans, and Fournette out, since week 7, that's about 22, 23 targets per game up for grabs. So AB's going to get his work. The running backs are going to get their work in terms of the receiving game. Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, and Gronk will obviously all contribute. I don't know if Gronk's opportunity changes more than he's already had. He's had great work over the last, month plus since his return from injury, and I think he'll be on that similar pace. I just think it's a matter of who's going to have the higher upside, and I think Chase does, in my opinion. I have Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson. I already played Kittle. Gronk is more safe, I feel like. I mean, safe if he scores a touchdown, but that's it. He's got to score. If he doesn't score a touchdown, then that quote-unquote safety just doesn't exist, in my opinion. That's why I kind of want to go Chase. Appreciate it. Mike says, Knox or Pollard in a half PPR? I'd play Pollard. I think Pollard could get you 10 points. Actually, relatively easy, especially if Dallas wins this game by a sizable margin. Pollard would very easily be able to get 10 points. And Dawson Knox, though he has more upside, again, he plays against the toughest matchup at the tight end position. Bill Belichick's, stopping tight ends. It's a thing that we all know for a reason. It's because he's done it to every single one of our starting tight ends this season. So for right now, I'd go Pollard there. Thank you. Let's see here. After that question, where were we? Okay. Thank you, Mike. R. Gravy says, worries about the weather in New England for Folk. Also, Zeke or Madison. I'd play Madison over Zeke. In terms of the weather, I'm not worried about it. I took a look at it. The fact that there's not going to be any sort of rain, I'm okay with that. That's all I pretty much need to know. Because as long as there's not rain similar to the one that we saw the last time these two teams, took each other on, I'm fine there. I mean, I can look at the details right now. It was raining this morning. Otherwise, it's mostly cloudy. It says that the probability of precipitation is 5%. So, yeah, very low odds of that being a problem for Nick Folk there, especially considering he's at home. Comfortable there the most. Josh sends in a question. Josh Rowe says, need to in a full PPR scoring format. We have Jalen Waddle. We have CeeDee Lamb, Ronald Jones, Ezekiel Elliott. Of the players that you've mentioned, I'm playing Rojo and Lamb. Thank you very much, Josh. Appreciate it. Tom sends in a question, says Darrell Henderson or Justin Jackson. I played Justin Jackson there, full PPR. Eckler is out. I'm aware. You're good to go. I played JJ there. Big Tizzy says Antonio Brown or Javonte Williams in a PPR. I play Antonio Brown. Thank you. Marvin Lewis says standard pick one, Joshua Palmer, Emmanuel Sanders, Devontae Parker. Of those three options in a standard scoring format, I think the highest upside is Emmanuel Sanders. And I also think he's got a very safe floor in that regard as well. So I go Emmanuel Sanders. As for your second question, also Swift or Gaskin, it's not even close. I'm playing Swift over Gaskin. I don't like the matchup as Swift has to take on the New Orleans Saints. That's not something that I'm ever interested in doing for running backs, especially considering he'll be splitting with Duke Johnson, maybe even below Duke Johnson in terms of total opportunity. As for Swift, I mean, he gets the Atlanta Falcons. We just saw Jeff Wilson go for 110 yards on them. Juszczyk scored a touchdown. Debo was tearing it up. So for right now, yeah, Swift's a great option. Vincent sends in a question. Says, made it to the finals in 3 of my 4 leagues. Awesome. I mean, that is... what does it say? Made it to the final 4. Sorry, made it to the final 4 in 3 of my leagues. Listen, the dyslexia kicks in every now and then. Thanks for all the work, Andrew. Please remind everyone to click the like button and subscribe. Thank you very much. If you guys could, again, yes. There's about 900 of you in here. 231 of you have clicked the like button. If you guys have not yet already, and you appreciate all that I've done this season, please do me a favor. Click the like button down below. It may not seem significant, but I can assure you in terms of the entire algorithm of YouTube helping the channel, it is one of the biggest things that you could possibly do to support. So thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you. Michael says, full PPR, Josh Palmer, Emmanuel Sanders, or Jacoby Myers. In a full PPR, I'm going Sanders, then I'd probably go Palmer, then I'd go Myers. Thank you. Anthony Taylor says, Rojo, Justin Jackson, Javonte, and then we have DeAndre Swift in a full PPR start 1. I'm playing Ronald Jones this week. Thank you, Anthony. Teddy H says, 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex in a full PPR. We have James Robinson, Rojo. Okay, so of the options that you have here, a lot of them too. The 2 running backs that I'm playing, Teddy, are James Robinson and Ronald Jones. I'm immediately going to tell you that I'm flexing David Montgomery in a full PPR. I'm playing Keenan Allen, and I'm playing Russell Gage. That's where I'd go. So, again, Rojo, J-Rob, David Montgomery in the flex, Keenan Allen and Russell Gage at wide receivers, and then we'll follow that up with playing Cole Kmet over Mike Gesicki in your tight end position. Thank you. Aaron sends in a question. Says Javonte Williams or Deontay Johnson in a half PPR. In a half PPR, we go Javonte Williams. Thank you. Robbie says, is Mark Andrews still a start? Yeah, you just have to play him. You just have to hope that Josh Johnson targets the tight end position. The reason why I have any semblance of confidence with that is the only other game Josh Johnson played this year was as a quarterback for the New York Jets, okay? He was a backup when Zach Wilson had gone down. They had signed Joe Flacco, but he had not been activated yet. Mike White in that game on Thursday night against the Indianapolis Colts, he went down with a hand injury, wrist injury. Josh Johnson came in. He threw 3 touchdowns in the final 3 quarters of that game, and he threw a touchdown to their respective tight end, was actually targeting their respective tight end. I think, who's the tight end that got hurt in that game? And then Ryan Griffin still came in, had himself like 4 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown. My assumption is that this entire scheme is just revolved around throwing the ball to Mark Andrews. So we just have to play him. He's Mark Andrews. So hopefully, regardless, he finds himself open and the quarterback's able to put it on him. So outside of that, Thielen, Odell, or Mixon in the flex. Of those 3 options, I think your safest play is most likely Mixon, and that's where I'm going to go. You said started Taylor in a full PPR, got me 10 points. Yeah, I mean, trust me, I have my good fair shares of Jonathan Taylor. Boy, did he not deliver this week. Unfortunate, maybe the kiss of death for many of us. Picked up Rojo and Madison, though. I mean, that's great to hear. Hopefully all is well. Yeah, Mixon's my suggestion, along with, yes, play Mark Andrews. Young Ricky says Rex Burkhead or Darrell Williams. I played Darrell Williams in a full PPR. Thank you. Wet Bandits says pick one in a full PPR. Need this W. Trust me, we all do, brother. W, we need Zeke, Higgins, Rojo, or Pitts. I'm playing Rojo there. Thank you. Bolts or Bengals? I'd go Bengals defense. Wet Bandit. DYLY bar 4 says full PPR. Rojo, Miles Sanders, Madison, or J-Rob. Pick 3, Renfro. Okay. Renfro, Parker, for the last wide receiver spot. Okay, also start Parker in the flex or one of those 3 running backs. Okay, so here's the dealio. Of the 4 running backs that you've mentioned, Rojo, Sanders, Madison, and J-Rob, okay? I'm starting Madison and J-Rob. Boom, boom. Those are your 1-2. Your flex is automatically Rojo. So Miles Sanders is sitting on the bench this week. As for your wide receivers, if you're playing 2 already and you need a 3rd option, in a full PPR, I'm playing Hunter Renfrow over Devontae Parker. So again, just to reiterate, DYLY, Rojo, Madison, J-Rob, Renfrow, those are the guys that I'm playing on top of whatever you already have. Thank you. Seth Peterson says, Rojo, Justin Jackson, or Josh Jacobs. I think Rojo's the play there. Josh Jacobs, Justin Jackson, they're both great. They really are. I don't know if you guys have seen how great Josh Jacobs has been in his career against the Denver Broncos defense. In the 3 games that he has played against them in his career, he has never not scored a touchdown. He has always scored a touchdown. In fact, I think in the 3 games that he's played against them, he scored 5 touchdowns in his career already. So he's got a pretty good track record against that defense. But either way, we got to play Rojo. Thank you. Victor R says, my opponent has Herbert. Should I start Jared Cook or Mike Gesicki? I'd want to limit his upside. I mean, I'm always been a person that I don't care about stacks. I don't care about denying points. I always just want to play the best overall player. And in my opinion, going into this week, I do think that Jared Cook, considering the fact there is no Mike Williams, no Jalen Guyton, no Austin Eckler, I believe Jared Cook is the better overall player than Mike Gesicki going into this weekend's matchup. So I would suggest Jared Cook. I'm not trying to, negate his points. I'm just trying to play your best overall tight end, which I think, regardless, coincidentally, is still Cook. Everett sends in a question. Says standard. Monty, Ronald Jones, or Justin Jackson? I'm playing Ronald Jones. Thank you. Again, just want to remind you guys, everything on screen is updated rankings. Standard format, full PPR, half PPR. I'm playing Ronald Jones this week. You guys saw it earlier this week. I have him ranked really high. If Leonard Fournette was here, I would have him probably as my number 1 running back on the week because of how much receiving work he gets, respectively. But I still think that Ronald Jones steps up and pretty much digs into that full opportunity and takes advantage of it. All right. Varun sends in a question, says, start 1 flex, Madison, Javonte Williams, or Stephon Diggs. I'd play Madison there. Thank you very much. Victor says, 2 PPR? Okay, so we're picking 2 out of a PPR league. Swift, Reynolds, RB, or wide receiver Ty Johnson. Okay, so if we're playing one of the running backs, if Swift is active, he's going to be the starter, and I would play him as such. So I'd play Swift over Reynolds. And then if we're playing Reynolds or Tyler Johnson, I'm going to play Tyler Johnson there. Now, because of the fact that Swift and Jamal Williams are both active, I'm of the mind that, yes, Craig Reynolds has played well, but he's also not as good as them. So he'll probably play, the third string, maybe rotating running back role, but not enough in a PPR format to take value away from Swift, and certainly not enough to play over Tyler Johnson of the Bucs. Thank you. A. Daniel says, full PPR, Najee Harris or Rojo? I'm playing Rojo there. Thank you. Also, half PPR, Justin Jackson or Deontay Johnson? I'd play Justin Jackson. Thanks for all the help. Started off 1-7, now in the playoffs. Holy moly. I don't know how you started 1-7, but, congratulations for digging yourself out. I'm glad I could help in any way. Rob P. says, pick 1, Saints, Chiefs. Okay, between the 2, I'm playing the Chiefs defense. Higbee or Kmet? I'd play Cole Kmet. Thank you. Justin sends in a question, says, defense, Bengals versus Baltimore or Bills versus Patriots? I have the Bengals defense ahead of the Bills. Perry sends in a question, says, half PPR, pick a wide receiver and 1 flex. We have Thielen, Waddle, and Miles Sanders. Great question. Half PPR. Okay, we're playing Miles Sanders as your flex, and we're playing Waddle as your wide receiver. Thank you. Youngblood85 says, Pitts or Schultz at the tight end position. Also, flex Gage or Jackson. I'd play Justin Jackson in the flex position. Okay, that just needs to not exist, please. Thank you. Okay, so sorry, I saw something in the chat. I had to, Anyway, so I'm playing Kyle Pitts at tight end over Schultz. As for Justin Jackson Gage, I'm playing Justin Jackson. That's where I'd go. Thank you. David Ramos sends in a question. David, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. All the happy holidays you could possibly have. Hey, Andrew, I need help. Sit one, Chase, Rojo, or Mixon. If we're sitting one, guys, I'm legit. Yeah, I'm sitting Joe Mixon this week. I am playing Jamar Chase, and I'm playing Rojo. Michael sends in a question. Says, should I start AB or Deontay? Should I play AB over Deontay Johnson and flex Rojo? Yes, that's what I would do. I would play I would play AB, Antonio Brown, over Deontay Johnson and flex Rojo. That's what I would suggest, Michael. And I'm glad you're able to play both options because that would help you out. Luis Castillo, thank you very much for the generous donation. Says, Lost Huntley, choose between Matt Ryan and Big Ben. Okay, cool. I'm glad that we have the rankings on screen so we can help you out in that regard. Going into this week, yes, I think the Detroit Lions matchup against Matt Ryan should be able to deliver. But man, Matt Ryan is he's not, maybe he has one of those. I mean, we've seen it earlier this year. Every now and then, the guy will show up and have a 28-point game. But the rest of the time, he just is not good. He's just not. The offense doesn't play well. The offensive line doesn't give him enough time. He doesn't make the greatest decisions. So I just rather go Big Ben there. And I have more confidence in that. As for your follow-up question, flexing Pollard or go with Duke Johnson, I would play Pollard. I think Duke Johnson's great, but he just had to play against the Saints this week, which makes me just not interested in that. I don't want to play a running back against the Saints unless their name is Miles Sanders, because that's really the only guy that ever found success against that team. Look at the last 2 games of Sanders against the Saints. It's unbelievable how many yards he's put up against them in the last 2 years. It's crazy. All right, anyway, so I'd go Big Ben. Thank you very much, Luis. Jeffrey sends in a question. Says, lost Kelsey, starting Komet. Is the Patriots defense a good start, or should I look towards another defense for more upside since losing Kelsey was a big blow? I mean, I still think that the Patriots defense is great. I think I mentioned earlier in terms of my top 10. Let me answer a couple more questions, and then I'll go ahead and from the top to the bottom re-mention everybody that I have in terms of top 10 defense. Thank you. Stray Urge says full PPR, pick 2 Van Jefferson, Joshua Palmer, Mixon, or Mooney, and why? The why part, I mean, listen, Mixon is a starting running back. I have to play him. Regardless of what we're doing, I know the Baltimore Ravens defense has played great against opposing running backs, but I do really expect that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to put a quick number on them. Mixon's going to score, just be a proxy of the entire offense succeeding as a whole. As for Mooney, I expect him to be better than the other options, mainly because Nick Foles does give him a boost. Nick Foles is probably the best quarterback that has played for the Bears this season. So the fact that he gets that, the fact that Allen Robinson's out again, opportunity is going to continue to knock on Mooney's door. Jorge sends in a question, says Harris or Henderson. I'm going to play Harris. That'd be Damian or Najee. And then your follow-up question, Gage or Thielen. For right now, I'm running with Russell Gage. He's been too consistent not to. Trey Perez says full PPR. Need to start 2 running backs, being that I started Edmonds in the flex. Okay, cool. I mean, congratulations. In a half PPR, 22.7 points. As for your 2 running backs you need to start, you have Kamara, you have Mixon, you have Carter, and you have Jackson. I'm playing Kamara and I'm playing Jackson. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, let me go ahead and once again reiterate what my top 10 defenses are for this week, just because I know many of you have asked. From the top to the bottom, here we go, top 10. Beginning with our number 1, the Cowboys, followed by Eagles, Buccaneers, Dolphins, Bengals, Chiefs, Seahawks, Bills, Patriots, Saints. Thank you very much. Let me go ahead and refresh my news thing. Is there anything? Okay, cool. Good to know. Adam Thielen is officially active. That's good to see. DJ Moore's active. Awesome. Is there anybody that is not active that is a surprise? Matt Breida being a healthy scratch is really good for Devin Singletary. I already anticipated Singletary to dominate the workload, so it doesn't really move him up, but that's just more confidence in that regard. Nothing about Antonio Gibson yet. We'll keep our eyes peeled. Okay. Going back to the questions. Let's see here. We answered. Okay, Chris sends in a question. Says, I need an RB2, Michelle, Pollard, Javonte Williams. All right, Javonte Williams. Well, I'm assuming when you say Jay Williams, you mean Javonte and not Jamal. So let's put it this way. If it is Javonte Williams, he plays. If it's Jamal Williams, and that's what you meant, we play Michelle. Okay? Thank you. Also need a wide receiver, too, between Emmanuel Sanders, Josh Palmer, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'd play Sanders there. And then if we're playing a flex option of the group, again, the same question goes. If it's Javonte, then you play Michelle at the flex. If it's Jamal, then you play Michelle as a starting running back, and then you flex Joshua Palmer. And then you're good to go. All right, cool. Thank you, Chris. Lucas Askew sends in a question, says, Andrew, I think you missed all my questions. How did I miss all your questions? I'm pretty sure I answered your question. I mean, maybe you sent in that question before I even got to your question, because I'm fairly certain I've answered it. There hasn't been a single question I missed. Yeah, no, listen, I even said happy holidays because I saw the 3 emojis. But hey, if you want, I'll go back and I'll reiterate what I thought about your question. The 2 running backs, I even spent like maybe 30 seconds on it, maybe more. Like I mentioned before, I'm playing Rojo and I'm playing Javonte Williams. As your wide receivers, I'm playing Higgins and Emmanuel Sanders. And at your flex, I'm going with Gordon. So, unless, of course, Antonio Gibson plays. But we don't know that yet. So, for right now, put Gordon in there. All right. Going back. Justin says, who do you trust more in the Rams backfield? Right now, Michelle. I trust what I see. And for right now, it looks like Michelle is going to be the dominant role until otherwise noted. TC says flex, PPR, Singletary, Marquise Hollywood Brown, St. Brown, or Emmanuel Sanders. I play Singletary there. Thank you very much, TC. I appreciate that. Patrick Colgan says half PPR, Singletary, Reynolds, or Barkley. I'd play Singletary. Thank you. Moving on. Wait, where are we at? Where do we go? Yeah, you know what? That's where I would change it. So give me a second. I would play Singletary over Barkley. So let me go change my rankings real quick. Okay, is there any players? Let's see here. Is there any news in regards to? Okay, so let's see here. Let me go change my ranking. I'm going to play Singletary over Barkley. So let's go change the graphic here. Where is this? Let's do that. Where is, okay, so we're going to grab Singletary, move him there, and we'll save that. Okay, let's go here. One moment, ladies and gentlemen, as I adjust said rankings. And now we have, okay, perfect. So let's go ahead, file, save. I'm currently firing up Photoshop, so if the stream begins to lag, it's because my computer is beginning to explode. Because some of these Photoshop files I have are massive. How many graphics I have inside of this thing. Okay. So we go here, we'll save it here. All right, cool. So as you can see on screen, it should have updated right now. I currently have Singletary ahead of Barkley, as I suggested. All right, going back to the questions. Let's bring this down. Let's close the Photoshop. Great. All right. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate it. Troy, you didn't have a question attached to the donation. I appreciate it. I just got to find where the heck your question went. Okay. Troy, you got to send in a question, my guy. It's not in the chat. So what happens, guys? Just a fair warning. I'm behind on questions. So if you send it in 10 minutes ago, I probably still haven't gotten to it. So, Swift is out? Really? Really? This is news, right? Or am I crazy? It just happened? Where the heck is it? I haven't seen a single thing about Swift today. Maybe that's why. Maybe they announced them out yesterday. Let's see here. Oh, it is earlier today. When? Okay, an hour ago. DeAndre Swift shoulder inactive. Good to know. All right, beautiful. Let's go back to the Photoshop. G-Mini. Thank you for letting me know, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's get to that. Let me go readjust the rankings again. Let's pop this up here. All right, so if Swift is out, my question, okay, so Craig Reynolds is going to start. So let's get Craig Reynolds. Okay, so let's grab him. Where do I play Craig Reynolds in relation to these running backs? Okay, let's do it here. I think it's pretty safe to play him right here. Is he a better play than these guys? Man, it's a great matchup against Atlanta. But the issue is they don't have Jared Goff. So I think he's a little bit of a lesser play in that regard. Yeah, I think I'm comfortable. Yeah, I'm comfortable with this. Let's do this. So, Craig Reynolds it is. All right, let me fire up the Photoshop file. I appreciate you guys letting me know. While the Photoshop file fires up, let me get to answering some questions again. Troy, did you send anything new? Okay, anyway. William Reed says, Miami defense or Dallas? I play Dallas this week. Who has a better floor and ceiling, Waddle or Chase? In a full PPR, I think Waddle has the safer floor and Chase has the higher ceiling. And I think it pretty much both is in the direction of Chase in a half PPR. All right, let's go ahead. Let's copy. Let's paste this running back section here. So technically we have Craig Reynolds now in the lineup. All right, cool. File, save as. Good to know. All right, file. Come on. Start saving already. Stop lagging my computer. Thank you. Alrighty, let's JPEG. Perfect. Save. Yes. Done. Alrighty. Awesome. Please do me a favor, guys, just like you did. If Antonio Gibson is out, start flashing the red lights. You know, sirens. Cue the sirens. You know what I mean? Appreciate it. All right. Let's see here. William Reed. We did that. So, yeah, that was my answer. Dallas defense. And then I think that Chase in a half PPR has a higher ceiling and floor. Full PPR, Waddle has the higher floor. Chase has the higher ceiling. Thank you. Abhishek V says, need upside, Deontay or Lockett? If you need upside, you go Lockett. Thank you. Eric Crump says, start 2 wide receivers, A, B, C, D, or Chase. Which running back to start? With Aaron Jones. Okay, cool. Let's close this. Let's move this over here. Okay, so I have to close this file as well. All right, cool. So in terms of which wide receivers are we starting? I'm going to play Jamar Chase and Antonio Brown. Basically I'm leaving CD to the side. You started Aaron Jones, and you need to play Najee, Ronald Jones, or Mixon. I'd play Ronald Jones out of that group. And then the follow-up is, who do I play in the flex position out of the remaining options? You would then just play Najee Harris, right? So you play AB and Chase. You play Najee Harris and Ronald Jones. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Eric. Walter Gregg says, half PPR, Jalen Waddle or Javonte Williams? I'd play Javonte Williams there. Thank you. John Foster says, pick a defense, Chargers, Saints, Bills, or Miami. I play Miami. Thank you. Terry R says, Najee Harris, Penny, Barkley, Justin Jackson, Garrett. Need 2. I would play Justin Jackson and Najee Harris. Thank you. Terry R also says Brady or Ryan. Brady or Ryan? Like Matt Ryan? No. We're playing Tom Brady. And in Philadelphia or KC, we play Philadelphia. Okay, so to answer your questions again, Terry. Najee Harris, Justin Jackson, Brady, and Philly. Thank you. Travis sends in a question, says, do I start Burrow over Tom Brady? Yes. Angelo says, with Kelsey out, I started Ertz last night. I need a flex option in a full PPR. Damian Harris, Justin Jackson, Van Jefferson. I play Justin Jackson. Thank you. Marcus says, start Tom this week after horrible week 15 or pick up someone else. Start Henderson or start Singletary. I'd start Singletary over Henderson. Thank you, Andrew. I hope you had a great Christmas and great rest of your weekend. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Marcus. For right now, I'm playing Brady unless you have somebody that's better. As you can see on screen, I have my current rankings, Marcus. So if there's anybody better available, I would go with that. Otherwise, yeah, you're sticking with Brady. Max sends in a question. Says, I need 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and 2 flex options. We have Mixon, Jackson. Okay. Thank you. From Spain. Wow, Max, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All the way out there from Spain, huh? That's incredible. So in terms of the options, you're playing Mixon and you're playing Justin Jackson as your two starting running backs. Your starting wide receiver would be T. Higgins, and then we're picking two flexes out of those options. We're playing Renfro and we're playing Emmanuel Sanders. We're leaving Amon-Ra on the bench. Thank you. Hutch Bass says, Javonte or T. Higgins in a full PPR scoring format. 1 point per first down. Ooh, 1 point for receiving first down. That's a different conversation. 1 point per receiving first down? Dude, you have to play T. Higgins. You have to play him. Thank you. Charles N. says, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Justin Jackson, Hunter Renfro. Half PPR, need two running backs and a flex option. In that regard, I'm playing all three running backs. So I play David Montgomery, Josh Jacobs, and Justin Jackson. I'd leave Renfro on the bench. Thank you. Kent Jeffers says, standard league, do I play Andrews, Palmer, or DJ Moore in the flex position? Played Kittle on Thursday. I'd play Mark Andrews in the flex. Thank you. In a standard league. Nick Coleman, 32, says Swift is out. So do I start Craig Reynolds or Penny? I'd play Craig Reynolds. Thank you. Gucci Han Louis Han says full PPR. I gotta go with David Montgomery or Justin Jackson. In a full PPR, yes, I would play David Montgomery over Justin Jackson. Thank you. Dom sends in a question, says more upside in a PPR, Tony or Emmanuel Sanders? Emmanuel Sanders. Tony's still injured, and he's also coming off of COVID, so it's just a double whammy of him not in. I just go with Emmanuel Sanders there. Rusty Wright says half PPR. Start two running backs, one wide receiver, one flex, one tight end. We have J-Rob, Cordy, Monty, and Javonte. Okay, so of the running backs, I'm playing Cordero Patterson and James Robinson immediately. And then we have AB Deontay as your wide receivers. So of the two, I'm playing AB over Deontay. Henry or Cook at tight end, I'd play Henry. So to reiterate, J-Rob, Cordero Patterson, AB, Hunter Henry, David Montgomery in the flex. And you're good to go. Let's get it. Let's see here. Moving back up. I got to go find. I'm trying to catch up, ladies and gentlemen. If you've sent in a question, trust me, I'm trying to catch up. Okay. Where are we at here? Okay, that was Rusty's question. We're moving on to New York. Says, Lockett with Snow or Josh Jacobs, Justin Jackson in a half PPR. I play Justin Jackson. Thank you. PT Morris says DJ Moore or Waddle. I'm going Waddle. I feel like DJ is due. He might be due, but he's definitely not more consistent than Waddle has been. Waddle has been unbelievable as of late. I mean, the last 3 games he's played, he's been averaging in a half PPR like 16 points per game. So I'm sticking with Waddle. Owen says, is St. Brown still a good move with Jared out? No. As you guys can see on screen, Amon-Ra St. Brown does not have a high ranking as of this week for me. I have St. Brown, Claypool, and Johnson and Treadwell on the waivers. What do I do with Johnson and Treadwell on the waivers? I don't know what Johnson you're referring to. I don't know if that's Tyler Johnson, but I'm playing with Laquan Treadwell ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown today. Thank you, Owen. Appreciate it. Dilo says, sorry, Andrew. I didn't hear the answer to my last question. Also, do you think you'll ever add defenses to the rankings? I really enjoy that. All right, Dilo, I got to go back up. Holy moly. Let's see here. Where was your first question? Yeah, okay, so the Rex Burkhead question. Yeah, for right now, no. My answer was I would never suggest that you play Rex Burkhead in a championship week, especially considering he's a part of the Texans. So, yeah, don't want to play that. Would I ever consider putting defenses on the screen? I'd consider it, but, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Pitcher sends in a question, says non-PPR Swift, Waddle, St. Brown, or Cooper. In a non-PPR scoring format, we have to play Waddle. Thank you. I mean, Swift is out. St. Brown is not going to be great. Cooper is, practically the most inconsistent receiver on that offense, so we go Waddle. AMAX says 12-team PPR. Choose one. Madison, Rojo, Justin Jackson, Javonte, or Carter. I'm playing Madison. Thank you. Dom says more upside in a PPR, Tony, Treadwell, or Bourne. I'm still playing Treadwell. I mean, I don't really care for the upside. I still think that Treadwell even has that because he plays against the Jets. But he'll definitely in a PPR get you 10 points minimum, and then everything outside of that is just gravy. By the way, says Thielen, Gage, Cooper, full PPR, pick one. I'm playing Gage, then Thielen, then Cooper. Thank you. Patrick Ryan says Madison or Justin Jackson. I'm playing Madison. Thank you. Owen says, last dono is non-PPR, by the way. 100% knew that. We're good to go. I still sticking with what I said, Owen. I would play, what's his name? Treadwell. Boom. Where are we at? Dalton Robinson says, should I start Rojo and James Robinson and start Keenan Allen, Lamb, Diggs, and bench Najee Harris? So if you can't play Najee in your flex and it's between playing Rojo and James Robinson over him, yes, I would play Rojo and James Robinson over him. Now, if you could start Najee Harris over like Diggs because he's in your flex, then I would. Fernando says, Lions, Jamal Williams, Gibson, or Saquon, and Parker or Mooney. Okay, so Parker or Mooney, I'd go Mooney. Between the three running backs you mentioned, Jamal Williams, Gibson, Saquon, I'm probably just going to roll with Saquon there. Thank you. Garrett sends in a question, says PPR. Need a second flex. Devontae Freeman, Devonta Smith, Darrell Henderson, Darrell Williams, Treadwell. Freeman, Smith, Henderson, Williams, Treadwell. We're picking two. No, we need a second flex in a PPR scoring format. The second flex is going to probably be, I'm playing I'm playing Laquan Treadwell. Thank you. Will Lane says, start Deontay or Diggs in a half PPR. In a half PPR scoring format, again, like I've mentioned to you guys, and I'll continue to mention, the rankings are on screen. So I'm playing Deontay Johnson over Stephon Diggs this week. I understand that he's missing other options, but he's also going to get double covered the whole game, most likely. Marcus sends in a question. Okay, yeah. I already answered that, Marcus, so hopefully you heard it when I got there. Chris says, that was your prior question for those. Anyway, Chris says PPR, St. Brown, Singletary, Michelle. I play Singletary. Thank you. Young Money says full PPR, Zeke or Damian Harris. Stevenson is out. Yeah, fully aware of that. I just think Damian Harris is a fantastic play, and that is why I have him ahead of Zeke on the rankings on screen, and I will continue with that trend in a full PPR scoring format. So, yeah, I'm going Damian Harris over Zeke. Nicole Trombley says, pick one. In the flex position, we have Schultz, Myers, or Claypool. If I have to pick one in the flex, I'm probably going with Schultz. Thank you. Barry Goldberg says, greetings, great season. You make the world better. I'm glad to hear that I was able to help you in any way, Barry. Glad to help as much as I possibly can. Appreciate it. Meyer Said said, thoughts on Tony this week? I'm not interested. Not even a little bit. Thinking mainly because the quarterback. What is Jake Fromm going to do for us? Especially against the Eagles. That's the issue. Thinking of starting over Claypool, Tyler Johnson, or Tyler Boyd, I wouldn't. I'd literally start all three of those options ahead of Tony. But hey, listen, if you want to give it a go, by all means, it's your prerogative. It's your team. Best of luck, and I hope he goes for 40, honestly. I hope he proves me wrong. Jack Wright says, Swift is officially out in a pick 1.5 PPR scoring format. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Craig Reynolds, or Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah, I'd go Reynolds there. Thank you. Sham Truly TV says, Robbie Anderson versus Tampa Bay or Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Atlanta without Goff full PPR. I'd probably still go with St. Brown. I don't know what the heck. I don't even know who's starting at the quarterback position for Carolina, much less trust Robbie Anderson. So I'd stick with St. Brown. Pharaoh Mo says Swift is out, my friend. Thank you for reminding us. I appreciate that. Salvador R says need a flex. Barkley, Michelle, Harris, St. Brown. I play Harris. And then follow-up says played Chubb and was sweating for a little bit. Thanks. Appreciate it, my guy. No problem. Isaac Maximoff says Seattle, Philly, or Cincy. I'm playing Seattle. I'm playing Philly, Cincy, and Seattle in that order. Nathan Salazar says pick one for the flex, Rojo or Montgomery. I play Rojo. Thank you. Omar says need to start a tight end. Komet, Gesicki, Uzama, Seals Jones, O'Shaughnessy. I would play Komet. Thank you. Let's see if this needs to happen real quick. Okay. All right, where are we at here? So, so let's see if Troy sent in a question. Okay, Troy, here we go. So Troy, I know you sent in a question a while back, but I was waiting for you to, send it in. Doesn't matter. Should I pick up Reynolds and start him over CH? No. And will Komet be affected by Foles playing? No, I think, yes, he will be affected. It will be better off for him. So, glad to answer that. And then I think for the culture sends in the question. For the culture. All right, for the culture. Says Henderson or Michelle? I need this player with 15. I play Michelle. I'd play Michelle. I mean, last week we made the mistake of going the other way. I don't want to get burned by that twice. Appreciate it for the culture. M. Paisley 88 says standard. We have St. Brown, McLaurin, Penny, Freeman, or Patterson. Only play Jared Patterson if Antonio Gibson is out. Otherwise, you're probably in a standard scoring format playing Rashad Penny. Thank you. Q Crew says pick one for the flex: Jamar Chase, David Montgomery, Justin Jackson. If we're playing in a half PPR scoring format, I think I'm still playing Jamar Chase there. Flight Zone Music says Sony, Penny, Damian Harris. Pick one in a PPR. I play Damian Harris there. Thank you. Mark sends in a question. Says full PPR. Pick two: Diggs, Mixon, or Renfro. Of the options, we're going in a full PPR. Do I play Renfro over Diggs? Probably. So we go Mixon and we go Renfro. SB Devo says full PPR, and I need the most upside possible. Are we benching Barkley and Sanders for sure in favor of Javonte Williams, Madison, and Justin Jackson? Yes, that would be my suggestion. You don't have to, but my suggestion would be to do so. Yes. Thank you. Living, by the way, says pick two in a half PPR scoring format: Duke, Howard, or Abdullah. If I'm playing 2.5 PPR scoring format, I'm probably playing Jordan Howard and Duke Johnson. Because Amir Abdullah, if he doesn't score that touchdown last week, not that great of a play. So I'm going to go Duke and Howard there. Thank you. Rick Flair sends in a question. No message attached to it. Let's see if I can find anything from you, Rick. Says Rex Burkhead or Brandon Bolden. I play Brandon Bolden this week. Thank you, Rick. Luis says, Kiorkof, love you, man. Watched every Bud this year. Okay. I don't, maybe you're autocorrect. Okay. Anyway, who would you start in a half PPR scoring for? Sanders or Boyd? Also, no Swift, Jamal or Reynolds. Okay. So for right now, if we're going Sanders or Boyd, I'm playing Sanders. And if we're going Jamal Williams or Reynolds, I'm going Reynolds. There's a reason why they activated him to the actual team, because I actually think he'll probably dig into that work more than Jamal Williams does. Phil sends in a question, says, hey, Phil here. Since Connor was out, I put Gordon in at my RB2 and Justin Jackson in my flex. Talked about it yesterday. Good move. Yeah, I think you're fine. Yeah. I mean, you had to, because, again, the injuries were stacking up on top of you. Tyler Vaughn says, flex full PPR Montgomery or Deontay Johnson. In a full PPR, I play David Montgomery. Thank you. Joe Lozano says, full PPR, need one Jamar Chase or Justin Jackson in my flex. Thanks for all the content. I'd play Jamar Chase. Thank you. Joe says, Devin Singletary or Higgins or Waddle in a standard format. In a standard scoring format, I'm playing Devin Singletary. Thank you. Team out of nowhere says, full PPR, start two, Fant, Callaway, Henderson, Darrell Williams. I play Noah Fant, and I would play Darrell Henderson. Thank you. Joel Garza. Let's see if I can find your question. All right, Joel says, Michael Carter, Treadwell, Reynolds, full PPR. I play Michael Carter there. Thank you. Vexo says, Chuba Hubbard or Jamal Williams, both split touches. Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, what the heck are we going to see from Chuba Hubbard in comparison to Jamal Williams? Is Jamal Williams a better player than Chuba Hubbard? They're probably going to have to run the ball a bunch. All right, this is what I'll say. Play Jamal Williams over Chuba Hubbard. Not on screen, but that's the one that I will personally audible. I'll play Jamal Williams over Chuba Hubbard at this point. Devin says half PPR, Higgins or Renfro, and DK Metcalf or Henderson. Okay, so Higgins or Renfro. Half PPR, I go Higgins. DK Metcalf or Henderson, we play DK Metcalf. Thank you. Phil says, I'm starting my team as Herbert, RB1 and 2 are Jacobs and Gordon. Wide receiver 1 and 2 are Kupp and Renfro. Tight end is Schultz. Defense is Eagles. Kickers Matt Gay, good to go. Bench is that. Yeah, no, you're good to go, Matt. Phil. I said Matt because of Matt Gay, the kicker of the Los Angeles Rams. Phil, you're good to go. Your lineup is set as such. That's the best overall lineup you could possibly set with the other options you have on your bench. Appreciate it, Phil. Jonathan McMaster says, Dalton Schultz or Mike Gesicki? I play Dalton Schultz there. I have Dak and CeeDee Lamb and Waddle as my flex. My running back situation sucks with Henderson and Devonta Freeman, so I need upside. Yeah, I think Dalton Schultz is still your better play there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Jorge Perez, let's see here what your question is. There's nothing in the chat from you. So if you could, Jorge, I'd appreciate it if you just sent or just typed in the chat and let me know what your question is. Berlin B says, I need a kicker, Nick Folk or Jake Elliott in the standard format. Let me see who I have higher in my kicker rankings. I'll check that in a second right now. Let's go to my week 16 spreadsheet. Let's scroll over here. I have Nick Folk at number 3, and I have Jake Elliott at number 4. So I go Nick Folk there. Thank you. Mike Jones says, wide receiver 3, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Baxton Berrios, or Laquan Treadwell. I need to pop off. Yeah, look, if you need one of these guys to quote-unquote pop off, I don't know if you'll be able to get that, but for right now, we'll go Braxton Berrios. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Justin sends in a question, says, can't believe I'm about to ask this, but Big Ben or Dak? Yeah, I think I just have to play Dak at that point. I know it's tough. I know. Trust me. A couple of my teams with Dak have already, passed away at this point this season. But for right now, yeah, I'd say you stick with Dak. Jorge's question was full PPR. Need a flex. What do we have here? Thielen, Gage, Palmer, Gallup, and Gesicki. Pick up Henry or Komet. Okay, so in a full PPR scoring format, as of the options that you have, I'm probably playing Gage at wide receiver. As for your tight ends, I'm playing Komet. Yeah, I'm playing Komet. Not because Jonnu Smith's going to dig into Hunter Henry's overall upside. It's because the matchup's tough, and I think Cole Komet catches the ball more this week, and that reception total just continues to rise his potential. So for right now, Gage and Komet. Thank you very much, Jorge. I appreciate it. All right, trying to catch up, guys. Trying to catch up as quickly as I can. Let's see, how close am I to catching up, though? Let's see here. Am I that far away? Yeah, I'm not that far away. I'm like, okay, I can catch up. Like 15 questions here. Here we go. Drippy Nick says, Thielen, OBJ, Madison. Need 3 in a full PPR. You named 3 players. You said need 3. I'm assuming you said need 2. So if it is in a need 2 basis, we play Madison for sure, and then we'd follow that up by playing Adam Thielen. So that's where I would go, Thielen and Madison. Hopefully you meant need 2. CXTTER says, need to start 3 out of the 4 players. We have Waddle, Diggs, AB, Jefferson. Okay. Playing Devontae Adams already and Rodgers. Needs some good ceilings. All right, so overall, if I'm playing 3 out of the 4 players that you've mentioned, I'm playing Jefferson, I'm playing AB, and I'm probably, if it's a full PPR scoring format, and it's not a half, you know what? Maybe I just play Waddle anyway, just for the ceiling. Yeah, let's play Waddle, AB, and Jefferson there. Thank you. Steve Factory says, flex Diggs against New England or Justin Jackson against Houston. I play Justin Jackson versus Houston. AMAC says 12-man team. Okay, so 12-man PPR. Rojo or Madison? I play Madison. iShine 101, thank you very much for the generous donation. Says, I got a starting. Okay, we're starting 2 running backs, Justin Jackson, Ronald Jones. Okay, my 2 flexes are Najee Harris and Devontae Parker. Okay, my bench is Scary Terry, Henderson, Gallup, Marvin Jones, Michael Carter in a full PPR. Should I bring anyone off the bench to start them? This is a full PPR. No, do I want to put Michael Carter over Devontae Parker? Actually, yeah, I do. So that's the only change I'd make, iShine. I'd play Michael Carter over Devontae Parker as your flex. Thank you. So basically, you're starting your 4-star running backs. Fabian says, full PPR. RB 1 and 2, we have Madison, Najee Harris. Okay. Flex Gage or Mixon? Ooh, good question. Am I really about to sit Mixon for Russell Gage in a full PPR? Mixon doesn't catch the ball. On top of the fact that he plays against Baltimore, he probably scores himself 12 points, I think, relatively easily. But I think Russell Gage probably can beat that number. 6 yards, 60. Yeah, 6 catches, 60 yards. He can beat that number. I go Russell Gage there. Thank you. That's probably not the, yeah, I would say majority of people would say just play your stud Mixon, but I feel like the matchup just doesn't serve him well. Jack Venable says full PPR, Damian Harris or DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is great. I think he's very, I think he very solid. Yeah. he could probably put up 10 points. Probably. But I think Damian Harris just slightly, just barely has a little bit more upside. So we'll go Damian Harris there. Actually, probably more upside overall. I mean, I honestly think if Damian Harris is healthy and his hamstring doesn't bother him, he could easily go for 100 rushing yards today. Maybe more. Dylan Taylor says, play 1.5 PPR. Thielen, Sanders, or Montgomery. I'm playing Montgomery. Thank you very much, Dylan. Buffalo Anarchist says, I see your rankings. Still mixed feelings about Still mixed feelings. Full PPR. Start 2, Justin Jackson, Josh Jacobs, Sanders, Damian Harris. Then start 2, Lamb, Metcalf, and Chase. Okay. Between the receivers, I'm starting CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase. Between the 2 running backs that you need to pick out of the 4, I would play in a full PPR. I'm playing Josh Jacobs and I'm playing Justin Jackson. Thank you very much. So JJ's on the running backs, Chase and Lamb a wide receiver, Buffalo. Thank you. Stephen Talbot says, can you explain Ronald Jones at number 3? I'm thinking about Justin Jackson instead of him. Merry Christmas. Stephen, I would say go to my video from earlier this week and click on the timestamp in the description of the video that says Ronald Jones, and that'll give you the best overall answer instead of me spending the next 5 minutes talking about it. Instead of catching up, I'd suggest you go do that because it gets more information, more stats in regards to that I have, in front of me at the time where I'm reading it instead of trying to come off the top of my head. So go check that out if you can. Thank you. Soccer 345 Abel says, should I start Dalton Schultz, Michael Carter, or DJ Moore in the flex? I play Michael Carter. Thank you. Sakuda says, Russell Gage of the flex or wait for Antonio Gibson / Jarrett Patterson. I'd play Russell Gage. Yeah, I just play Russell Gage there. Ishan101 says, in your opinion, why do you like Javonte Williams over Mixon this week? Gordon stealing yards. I'm not worried about Gordon stealing yards. The thing is, Drew Lock is sitting at quarterback. This team is going to heavily rely upon running the ball. And they take on, of all the teams, one of the better matchups they could possibly ask for. They take on, for goodness sake, the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders, they just give up points for free nowadays. And I just think it's just going to be an easy 1-2 combo for this team to run the ball against them. In comparison to Mixon, who will probably be the 4th option in that offense today against Baltimore. Shannon says, championship match. Kelsey is out. Cook or Fant? Great question. I mean, that is why, I thought about it a little bit earlier this morning when there was confirmation that, Travis Kelce wasn't going to play. I thought about putting Jared Cook over Fant, but for right now, I'm just going to keep sticking with him over them. I think the Las Vegas matchup is fantastic, so we're good to go there. KC or Philly defense? I play Philly. Thank you. Appreciate it, Shannon. Hakima sends in a question. Says, Saquon or Renfro flex PPR? I play Renfro. Thank you. Tarad Taylor says, Thielen, Antonio Brown, Rashad Penny, or Rex Burkhead? Okay, so I think these are 2 questions. Thielen or Antonio Brown, I'd play Antonio Brown. Rex Burkhead and Rashad Penny, I'd play Penny. Thank you. To the max says full PPR, need a flex. Pick one between Justin Jackson. Okay, I play Justin Jackson at your flex out of the other options to the max. To my other team, full PPR, Jamar Chase or Miles Sanders. Happy holidays, Andrew. Thanks. I play Jamar Chase over Miles Sanders. Thank you very much. Happy holidays to you as well. Doug says, Craig Reynolds or Adam Thielen in a standard league? Wow, good question. In a standard league, I probably have to play the running back. Even though I don't really want to play anybody of that caliber over Thielen, I think I just have to. Because if Thielen doesn't score touchdowns, it's not pretty. So I just go with Craig Reynolds there. Salvador Medina says, Emmanuel Sanders or Barkley? I'm going to go Barkley there. Thank you. Sid Ramesh says, DJ Moore or Craig Reynolds in a half PPR? DJ Moore or Craig Reynolds, half PPR. A little bit closer. I think at that point, I could feel just slightly more confident about rolling with... Do I want to play DJ Moore over Craig Reynolds? No, let's play... In a half PPR, let's play Craig Reynolds. Cinco2X says Gibson plays at 8. Plays at 8? But he has the night game? Oh, he does have the night game. That's correct. Do not risk it. Just play Sony Michel. Unless you have Jarrett Patterson, Cinco, that's the only way. The only way you could ever hold out for Antonio Gibson is if you have Patterson. If you have Patterson and you're confident enough in it. I still think that even if Patterson plays, he's a lesser play than Antonio Gibson as a whole. So I wouldn't risk it. I just play Sony there. Primate Play says Deontay or Ronald Jones, standard flex. I'm playing Ronald Jones. By the way, you're the best. Love, all the love. Appreciate that, Prime. Ronald Jones is my suggestion. Vladimir Bonilla says, good morning. Mahomes or Brady? I'm playing Mahomes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Ronald Jones? Ronald Jones. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Catacomb Kid says, pick 3, Justin Jackson, Rojo, Kamara, Montgomery, or Mixon. I have to play Rojo, Kamara, and Justin Jackson there. Thank you very much. Devin says, started Jeff Wilson out of fear. Tyreek Hill wouldn't start. Josh Allen at quarterback. Pick 2, Tyreek Hill, Najee Harris, Stephon Diggs, facing New England defense. I would play Najee Harris, and I would play Tyreek Hill. Thank you. Revenant wide receiver says, I see your rankings, but my opinion are basically side by side. Waddle or Renfro, Thielen, Gage. Need to go by list or further thoughts on the order for the wide receiver. So, I mean, if we're playing in a half PPR scoring format, I'm pretty solid in the idea that I want to play Waddle because of what I've seen him do with Tua. And the fact that they take on the New Orleans Saints, like, they have to run the ball. I mean, they have to throw the ball. They cannot run the ball against that defense, especially considering how bad the offensive line is. So Waddle has to play regardless. And then when I think of the other 3 options, I could go with Renfro, Thielen, and Gage and just flip a coin, right? But the only reason I go with Renfro consistently is because Waller's not there. While Thielen will have to, probably play second, third fiddle behind Justin Jefferson's opportunity and Alexander Madison. Russell Gage will have to play after Cordero Patterson, Kyle Pitts, probably more than Kyle Pitts, to be honest. So probably that's why I have Russell Gage ahead of Thielen. Renfro is the number 1 probably in that offense. I mean, sometimes they don't even run the ball as much as they should. So that's why I just lean in that direction. So I'm still with the Renfro Waddle train. Revenant, I appreciate it. Dom says, would you take Josh Reynolds over Treadwell in a full PPR? I would not play Josh Reynolds over Treadwell. I'd play Treadwell over Reynolds. Thank you. Chris Rosado says, start 1.5 PPR. Hendo, Michelle, Carter, or Reynolds. If it's Craig Reynolds, I'm playing him at this point. Pick 1.5 PPR, Knox or Uzama. I played Dawson Knox. Thank you. Marion Garcia says, why Rojo over Montgomery? Appreciate all the help. Again, guys, if you haven't watched my video earlier this week, it's the best way to go about it. I talked about it. Carolina's giving up 120 yards per game to, just rushing stats alone over the last month. They're giving up a rushing touchdown per game to opposing running backs. The last season, when Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, in 2 different games, they took on Carolina, and they were the starting running backs of their respective teams. Ronald Jones went for 25, and so did Leonard Fournette. In 2 different games, they were both starters, of course, because of injuries. Ronald Jones went for 25 points. Leonard Fournette went for 25 points against Carolina's defense. They know how to run the ball. It's going to go back to running the ball because they have no one else to throw the ball to. You can't throw the ball to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin anymore. They're gone. So you have to find an established running game. They'll do that. Ken A says flex, PPR. Sony, Carter, Penny, Knox, St. Brown. If we're playing in a full PPR scoring format, of the available guys, what do we want to do with this? What do we want to do? I mean, yeah, not Parker. Penny, Knox. Yeah, we're going to play Michael Carter there. Thank you very much, Ken. Appreciate it. Problem Blessed says AB, T. Higgins, Penny, Parker, or Knox. I'm going to play Antonio Brown there. Thank you very much, Problem. Underscore says Beckham, Mooney, Craig Reynolds, half PPR. Great question. I think I'd probably go with the running back, but I'm thinking Mooney could catch him. Probably not, though. So let's go Reynolds. Mario Chavez says, need to Barkley, CH, Miles Sanders, Jamal Williams. Of the options that you've mentioned, Mario, I'm playing CH and Miles Sanders. Thank you very much. Happy holidays. Connor Andrews says, already starting Hill and Allen at wide receiver. Okay, so that's Keenan Allen and Tyreek Hill. And started Jones and James Robinson are my running backs. Do I play AB or Javonte Williams in the flex half PPR? I think I'm probably playing Antonio Brown there. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to play Antonio Brown at the flex there. All right, I'm catching up. I'm almost caught up, everybody. Justin, what time is it? Holy moly. Third question, flex, full PPR, Michelle or Reynolds? In a full PPR, no, I'm still playing Reynolds. Matt Hartstein says, full PPR, choose one, flex options, Marquise Brown, Justin Jackson, Gronk, Waddle. Wow. I got to pick one. I started Kittle on Thursday, 4.1 points. Yeah, ouch. I mean, look, what were you going to do? Not play him? You had to play Kittle. You had to. I mean, he's been too good as of late. I think, what did he do? He tied the record for 3 consecutive games of receiving yards from the tight end position. It's too good. Anyway, If we're starting one out of the potential options that you've mentioned, I think Justin Jackson or Jalen Waddle are my two options that I'm thinking of. Jalen Waddle could just maybe blow him out in terms of getting like 7 catches, 70 yards, and then everything else. I think I'm still going to go Justin Jackson there, though. I go Justin Jackson there, Matt. Appreciate it. Another Matt question, Matt R. Let's see if I can find your question in the chat. Matt R says, who do I flex, Pitts, Damian Harris, or Devontae Parker? I would play Damian Harris there. Thank you very much, Matt R. Appreciate it. RZ King says Reynolds or Melvin Gordon. I play Reynolds over him. Lee Shakur says, I need 2 full PPR, Madison, CeeDee Lamb, or Diggs. I'd play Madison and CeeDee Lamb this week. Paulie sends in a question. Let's see, Paulie. Where is your question, Paulie? He says, Gallup, Devonta Smith, or Tyler Johnson. Raiders backup tight end or Komet. So I played Komet over Foster Moreau, and I would play Gallup over the other 2 options you mentioned. Thank you. Vic84 says, GM Andy, full PPR, start. Wide receiver, running back, tight end, flex. Here's my options. T. Higgins, McLaurin, Gibby, Hendo, Justin Jackson, Uzama, or Foster Moreau. Patriots or Saints defense. Take me to the chip. All right, so if we're playing one wide receiver out of the group that you mentioned, I'm playing T. Higgins. If we're playing a running back, it is Justin Jackson. If we're playing a flex, it is we wait for tonight, and you either play McLaurin or Gibby. If Gibby's healthy, you play him. If he's not, you play McLaurin. And then for your that would be a flex. And then for your tight end this week, I'm playing CJ Uzama over Foster Moreau. And then the final option, Patriots or Saints defense, I would go with the Patriots. Thank you. PRMNT says Jamar Chase or Tyreek Hill. I'd go Tyreek Hill. Good to go there. Doug says, don't know if you answered my question. Thanks, bro. Let's see, Doug. I'm fairly certain I did. I don't think I missed a single question unless there wasn't a message attached and I just rolled by it. Yeah, so I did answer your question. I'd go Craig Reynolds over the other option you had there. Where are we at? Okay, I'm trying to catch up before kickoff. Trying my very best. Oh, my goodness. As soon as I thought I got out. Okay, here we go. So, Briant Ortega says, standard, Justin Jackson or Miles Sanders. I play JJ. Also, Mixon, Melvin Gordon, Sony, Craig Reynolds. Need 2 for my other league. Okay, of the remaining options you have, I'd go Mixon. And then it would be between the other 3 gentlemen here of Michelle, Reynolds, and Gordon, which I'm probably just I want to have a running back. I just want to play someone against the Atlanta defense. They're just terrible at stopping the run. And the one thing that the Detroit Lions do good, more than anything, literally more than anything, is that they actually have a good offensive line and they can actually run the ball. So for right now, that's where I'm going. I go Reynolds and I'd go Mixon. Jeff Berkowitz says full PPR. Pick 2. Running backs. Here we go. We have Cordero Patterson, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery. Cordero Patterson is a must play there. And then I probably play Josh Jacobs over Montgomery. They both catch the ball just about the same amount of times. I just prefer Josh Jacobs in this regard this week. Thank you. Jesse M says Gage or Justin Jackson. I played JJ. Thank you. JC says in a standard league, at flex, pick 1. Russell Gage, Jacobs, or Michelle. Standard league, I'm playing Josh Jacobs. Thank you. Precision Building says Carter or Jarrett Patterson to replace. I think you can't risk waiting for Jarrett Patterson. So you play Michael Carter. Thank you. Dylan Taylor says half PPR. Half point per first down. Montgomery or Russell Gage? I play Montgomery. Baraka sends in a question. Says standard. We have Alexander Madison and Rojo. I play Madison. Seth East says full PPR. Do I start Russell Gage or Hollywood Brown over Gronk and Mark Andrews? Gronk is my tight end, and Andrews is currently my flex. No, I would start them both as such, and I would not replace either of those tight ends. Aaron Roscoe says full PPR Montgomery, Barkley, JJ, Rojo. I'm playing Rojo, then Montgomery, then Justin Jackson, then Barkley. So Rojo, Monty, JJ, Barkley. Bryce Pearson says Keenan Allen or Antonio Brown flex full PPR. Really good question. I still have to play Keenan Allen. The fact that Mike Williams is out, Jalen Guyton's out, Austin Eckler's out, Keenan Allen is going to be unbelievable today. Alex Saunders says, Komet or Gallup in the flex? Ooh, good question. Honestly, I'm going to play Cole Komet there. Yeah, I go Cole Komet. Thank you. Marty says, Michelle or Gallup? I play Sony Michelle. The flex, Marty. Thank you. Rocket MLG says, full PPR, Javonte, DJ, Justin Jackson. I go JJ there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Matthew Thompson, Hollywood Brown with Huntley. Huntley's not playing, unfortunately. It's going to be Josh Johnson or Michael Carter. That answers your question. I would go Michael Carter. Liam, I think you asked a question earlier. Let's see what your next question is. Hopefully it's in the chat there, Liam. Let's see if we can find your question, Liam. Did you send one after? I don't think so. So let's see here. What was your first? Okay, so Liam sent in an earlier question. Said flex, full PPR, 2 running backs: Reynolds, Parker, Gibson, Patterson, Sony. I mean, at this point, you probably let me think about how you would go about this. So you'd probably go there, and you'd have to wait. Yeah. So that's what most likely. Okay. So Liam, you would probably play Reynolds, and then you'd wait and see who plays Gibson or Patterson and play that person tonight. And then did you have any other questions you sent? No. Okay. Good to go. Let's go to the bottom here. Next question was from John. John says Gibson or Patterson. I mean, I'm waiting to see who's active. I mean, that's literally all it is. Also, should I look to start Nick Foles over guys like Wilson, like Zach Wilson? Yeah, I would play Nick Foles over Zach Wilson today. But yeah, between Gibson and Patterson, it just depends who's active. If Gibson's active, you play him. If he's not, you play Patterson. Hopefully it's not Cordero Patterson, and hopefully we know better not to, not play him. It's Dreyway says PPR. Should I wait till Antonio Gibson or go ahead and play Josh Palmer or Josh Reynolds? Might have Jarrett Patterson on my bench. Mind you, I have Jarrett Patterson on my bench with no faith in him. Then you play Josh Reynolds because, again, it's a full PPR, and he'll be the second receiving option of the Chargers today. So go Josh Reynolds. Go Josh Palmer. My apologies. So many Joshes today. Colton says full PPR, Lockett or OBJ. It's snowing in Seattle, so I'm a little nervous. I mean, it may be snowing, but I mean, okay. I don't even want to get into the minutia of it. I'm going to play Lockett. If it's my team, that's where I go. How much time did we have? 8 minutes? All right. Mike Jimenez, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Says, you're the bomb. Pick 2 in a full PPR scoring format. We got Montgomery. We got Javonte Williams. We got JJ. Of the options, I'm playing Justin Jackson, and I'm following it up with Mr. David Montgomery. So then the question is, who is the next best? Okay, note, already played quarterback and wide receiver combo for the Chargers. So if I pick Justin Jackson, will it be crazy to start 3 Chargers? No, it's not crazy to start 3 Chargers. The whole point is to play the best players that you can possibly play, in which my opinion is going to be Justin Jackson and Montgomery. Mike. Baraka says, start Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. No, I'm going to play Stephon Diggs over Amon-Ra. You're good to go. Frank says PPR, half PPR. On flex, do I go Renfro or Damian Harris? In a half PPR scoring format, I would go Damian Harris. Thank you very much, Frank. I appreciate that. Tamir says half PPR, Fant, Henry. Fant equals ceiling over floor. Fant has a higher floor. Hunter Henry has the ceiling. So it depends what you want. Do you want 7 points? Look, I think very easily you can get like 7.5 to 8 points with Fant. On the other end, Hunter Henry's going to get you 3 points or 13 points. Where do you want to play? Do you want to play on the riskier end, or do you want to play with the safe end? So that's the risk you have to take. I'm always willing to take risks, so I'd play Henry there, but that's up to you. Liam says, okay, so we did Liam question. Good. Dilo says, pick 2 full PPR. Javonte, McLaurin, Boyd, Damian Harris, Jamal Williams. Dilo, I would play Javonte, and I'd play Damian Harris. Thank you. Tamir says, I meant Henry, Fant, or Komet. Thank you. All right, good to know. In regards to adding Komet to this entire equation, at that point, I'm just going to play Komet. No, I don't even want to play Komet there. It's the same thing pretty much. Komet could get 8 points. It's a half PPR, right? Let me scroll back up. It's not full PPR. If it was full PPR, I would just play Komet. But because it's half PPR, I'm just still sticking with the idea that if you want the mid-range points, you go with the other two receivers. If you want the volatility, you play Henry. Tim James says, my gut says that Waddle is over Diggs. But this is more of a question of if you're worried about Waddle's fatigue after a week of COVID. Amari Cooper, i.e. Amari when he was back. I haven't heard anything about him being limited. The only difference between Amari was that we actually heard that they were not going to try to give him the full go. So am I worried about it? Look, I don't know what his health is, and I'm not going to even try to predict what his health is going to look like. So for right now, I'm playing Waddle, and I'll join you with that as long as it's the full PPR. If it's a half, then I'm probably still going back to Diggs. Appreciate it. J Math says, do I start the Chargers defense or Cowboys defense? 100% play the Cowboys defense this week. 100%. They've been the best defense in fantasy for the last month, so you for sure got to keep with the momentum there against Washington. Thank you. Appreciate it. Morph says, Ronald Jones or Montgomery? Ronald Jones is my suggestion there, Morph. Jimmy Casket says, thoughts on Madison and projected points for both Madison and Hurts. I don't have a projected points off the top of my head. My Madison thoughts are mainly when I've seen him play over the last 2 years as a starting running back of this football team, he is a 18-point to 20-point running back. And that's why I have him at number one. And there's your projected points. I didn't expect to get there, but that's what I anticipate. As for Hurts, depends how big of a blowout it is, because Jalen Hurts probably puts up 20 points, but he could get to 35. Just a matter of how big of a blowout it is. Appreciate it, Jimmy. Omar G says, Javonte Williams or Mooney? I'm playing Javonte. Appreciate it. Denial says, Mooney or Amari? I'm playing Mooney over Amari Cooper. Just saw Foles is the Bears starting QB. Yep. Big Nick Foles over there is going to get it done. Eddie James says, sit Russell Wilson because of the bad weather and pick up Matt Ryan. I don't mind that, mainly because Russell Wilson's been struggling. Yeah, I don't mind that idea. I don't mind that. Tyler Johnson or Jamal Williams. If it's a half PPR, I'm playing Jamal Williams. Navy Vet says, Antonio Gibson or Miles Sanders? I'm playing Miles Sanders 1,000% regardless of whether or not Antonio Gibson plays for both leagues. Terry Smith says, Russell Gage or St. Brand? Russell Gage 1,000%, not even close. You're good to go there. Because, again, I'd rather have the guy that actually has a starting quarterback rather than the guy that has Tim Boyle. Full PPR also could take out Rojo for – I have Sanders and Craig and Terry too. Listen, you got to keep Rojo in. You play Gage over St. Brown, you're good to go. Classified says half PPR. Flex, Damian Harris, Goddard, or DK. I'll probably just stick with the running back there. I go Damian Harris. Yep. Good to go. Okay. I think I caught up. I believe so. And my brain, you guys are saying your brains are about to explode. My brains are about to explode. The overload, I just pressed on it for the last hour and 40 minutes. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Kendrick Bourne or Michael Gallup? I play Michael Gallup. Justin Jackson or Damian Harris? Okay, guys, once again, on screen, we got rankings. I would play Justin Jackson over Damian Harris. So, bada boom, that's what I would do for week 16. Carter or Singletary? Rex, I'd play Singletary. Damian Harris or Justin Jackson? Again, I'm playing Justin Jackson like it says on screen. Devontae Parker or Damian Harris? I'm playing Damian Harris. Antonio Brown or Justin Jackson? I'm playing Antonio Brown. Again, Kevin, don't worry about it. Just type your question. I'll answer it right now. Don't worry about it. Jeff Berkowitz sends in another question. Says, flex Renfro or Monty in a full PPR? I'm going to play David Montgomery there. Jeff, I appreciate it. Cowboys or Bucks defense? Okay, again, I'm going to reiterate, guys. From the top to the bottom, here's my top 10 defenses of the week. Cowboys, Eagles, Bucks, Miami, Cincinnati, Chiefs, Seattle, Buffalo, New England, and New Orleans. Thank you. Rashad Penny or Treadwell? Rashad Penny. Jimmy says, thoughts on Stephon Diggs? Will Pats shut him down? Very likely that they could. If any team's going to, I think the Pats are the most likely or most capable. But then again, he also had a game last year I think he went for like 3 receiving touchdowns. So you never know. But for right now, he's one of those stud wide receivers you sometimes have to trust, but it's always risky. All right, Russell Gage or Diggs? Again, it's probably safer. Literally, it's probably safer to run with Russell Gage because he has such a safe floor. But Diggs has so much upside. You never know. He might have one of those games. That's what I just, kind of was saying just a second ago. DJ Moore, Miles Sanders. I mean, at this point, you probably just play Sanders and hope for him to score a touchdown. Helped me earlier. Madison, Ronald Jones, Keenan Allen, Andrews, AB. Need 3. Madison, Rojo, Keenan Allen. No problem, Rex. I appreciate it. Singletary, Michelle, Gibson. I play Singletary there, Craig. Renfro with Edwards out or Javonte. It depends. If it's a half PPR, I'm playing Javonte. If it's a full PPR, I play Renfro. Appreciate it, Mr. Pittman. Let's see here. Mixon or Devontae Williams? Devontae? You mean Javonte? I play Javonte there. Duke Johnson or Gaskin or St. Brown? At this point, I'd probably just play St. Brown. Justin Jackson or T. Higgins? I'd probably still play JJ. Yeah, probably. Justin Jackson, CEH, or Miles Sanders? Pick one. I'm playing Justin Jackson there. Again, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm all in on Justin Jackson today. I'm all in. Miles Sanders. Okay, we did that question just right now. Have a great football Sunday, Andrew. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Happy holidays to all of you. I appreciate you guys coming out. Kicker rankings, please. All right, from the top, here we go. Matt Gay, Greg Zerline, Nick Folk, Jake Elliott, Matt Prater played yesterday. Haven't updated it. Greg Joseph, Daniel Carlson, Chris Boswell, Evan McPherson, Michael Badgley played yesterday. Justin Tucker, Dustin Hopkins. Miles, Justin Jackson, or CEH. Again, I'm playing Justin Jackson, guys, like it says on screen. That's what I'm rolling with. Marquise Brown or Renfro, not even close. It is Hunter Renfro by a million miles. Thank you, Andrew, for everything. Appreciate that. Ryan Kilpatrick, thank you. Kevin, I do not. I don't. It doesn't matter. I'm just here to help, and I'm happy that I'm able to, and I'm happy you guys enjoy the content. Full PPR, Antonio Brown or CD? I'm going Antonio Brown there, Eric. That's where I'm going with a full PPR. Miami or Cowboys defense? I go Cowboys. Happy New Year. Well, in a couple days there, E-Dub, in a couple days. Justin Jackson, CH, Miles Sanders. Again, I will say it again. Justin Jackson. That's the 4th time you've asked it, Mr. Derek. And hopefully the 4th time is the charm. Let's see here. Any questions up here that I missed? Hollywood, Zeke, or Gibson? At this point, you just have Davis. You have to play Zeke. You have to. Expecting anything from Joshua Kelly? I'm probably a couple attempts here and there, but I don't expect him to, lead the backfield. I mean, if he does, my goodness, I'm in shambles. But we'll see. Jimmy says, why do you have Ronald Jones over Kamara in your rankings? Because I started Kamara over Rojo. Jimmy, you're asking a lot of questions that literally could be answered in 2 minutes of scraping through my running back video. If you go check that out, it will give you a lot of insight as to where I'm going. Considering I have 15 seconds until I have to answer another question. Kamara with Mark Ingram in the backfield averages 7 fantasy points less per week. I mean, that itself, going from an 18-point running back to being an 11-point running back just with Mark Ingram stealing touches, not great. Rookie running back, a defense that hasn't allowed a touchdown since week 7 to an opposing running back. Everything doesn't look great for Kamara tonight, unless Ian Book knows how to throw the ball to respective running backs. Justin Jackson or Deontay Johnson in a full PPR? I'd probably go JJ there. Cordero or Mixon? I go Cordero there. All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good luck this weekend. Good luck today. I'm hoping so much that we all succeed. And I'm hoping that we can all get to week 17. And you know what will probably happen? Everything that we have predicted is going to go completely into a train wreck of disaster. People will get hurt. People will underperform. People will overperform. And that is why we love fantasy football. Because it's not something that we can predict. Because if we knew what was going to happen, then why play the games, right? If we knew the results before the game, then it wouldn't make it fun. But it makes it fun being able to predict, hope things come to fruition. And hope you guys find your success this weekend. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel with your viewership, the donations today, and of course, clicking the like button. Until tomorrow, waiver wire for week 17, championship week. Have a nice day, and I'll see you guys. Peace.